Hey people, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? Welcome to another episode, another reaction. I'm your host, Full Circle 420, and I got my homie with me, my homie lover friend. Well, maybe not lover, but
I'm Plum.
her
I'm
name
Plum.
is
You'll
Plum.
see me busy looking down. Normally I'd be working, but today I'm just working on business plans.
Right on, right
So
on. I was just got through, eating some crab legs and some clams and some not yeah clams, yeah clams. And although I'm glad I caught them when I did because I was growing, and I saw those little imprints of the the little things that's inside them, the damn things that
wait, what are
feed
you
them.
talking about? The clap? Wait, uh,
The clams.
clams. I'm saying crab legs.
Yeah, they got pearls too. Pearls, that's what pearls. They got pearls too, and you guys see the imprint where the pearls was at though.
Oh really?
Yeah, they were
Cool.
baby. They were like baby clams to me. They wasn't
I
fully
never had them.
You should try it, man. I mean,
Mm-mm.
no,
I'm
I'm
good.
telling you, no, I'm telling you, you gotta try it. You gotta try them, though, man. You got to try it. They're good as hell, though. You just gotta try them. All right, but back what I was saying. Okay, we this reaction. I now this one I saw a little snippet of it, but I didn't, watch it fully though. You know what I'm saying? Because what I'm about to show y'all is some bullshit, though. You know what I'm saying? What I'm about to show y'all it's some shit that motherfuckers should not even happen in the first place. Now, here's the thing though. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't have anything against religion because it never really did anything to me because it's an inanimate object though. You know, it says having power until somebody gets behind of it. However, it's the motherfuckers who's in these religions take that shit too far.
That's what
And
any belief.
I'm talking about religion. Period. I'm not. Dyson
No,
disbelief.
I'm just not like that's in no any belief, whether it's religion or something else you are passionate about.
Right. I understand that. But in this case, she was passionate, all right, for the wrong shit. Her and her fucking husband, little balling bastard.
Goodness.
But I'm not like I said. I'm not going. Their religion doesn't really matter at this moment. It's the narcissist and the boat and the sociopathy that matters in this video, though. You know what I'm saying? And dude, she is. You know what? Y'all just gonna watch and see, though. You know what I'm saying? This reaction video will probably go a little long, but because this is almost an hour video, and of course, YouTube, I have to stop and talk to it because I get copyright infringements and that.
And this is the commentary.
Yeah, exactly. This is a commentary because we picked these videos, but most time we never really seen them. I never really.
He picked it. I'm surprised at what we get. So,
But she gave me the idea
yeah,
about a similar video,
a
but we
topic.
could
Yeah,
a similar topic, but we couldn't find it though. You know what I'm saying? It's nowhere in sight in YouTube. So these bitches are the next best thing. That's worst thing. That's best. No, they're the next best worst thing.
I've never heard of this situation, this story, or even this person. So
Right.
I'm in for this is my first time. In for a shock, I guess.
And I'm telling you, it's a shock though. All I can say is,
Ricardo Wimble.
nobody really died in this, but it might as well. Shit, you know what I'm saying? All right, so let's get this started and tell me what y'all think. Tell us what y'all think.
Bush was born April 3rd, 1981, and grew up in a town 3 hours south of Atlanta, Georgia. Throughout his early years, he would receive multiple awards for his talents playing football, and would go on to attend Georgia Tech, starring as a linebacker for the Yellow Jackets, where he received many sporting.
I'm sorry, people. Watching shit like this, I gotta hit a joint though.
You gotta hit a joint anyway.
Exactly. I was
It doesn't even matter what you're watching.
Yeah, this is my after food joint though. You know what I'm saying?
You're so silly. Don't let this be an excuse why you're hitting a joint. You do it all the time.
Hey, if it wasn't for weed, motherfuckers' heads would be lopped off a long time ago, man.
Oh goodness.
So I get
you gotta learn to control yourself.
Oh, I can control myself. Obviously, I've never been in prison, so I know how to control myself.
I don't mean that.
Never, I never committed a crime. I never, did any DV or essay or none of that bullshit. So I
Oh.
know how to control myself. Let's just be real about this. I know how to control myself. It's just some of these people, oh my goodness, man. You just want to just cock your fist back and just rah. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I guess your emotions,
But I don't do that. I can just do it in my head. Anything I do in my head doesn't come in reality. So obviously it never happened. You know what I'm saying? I can always think about it though. But let's continue. And look, dude, he had a lot of things on. And this guy right here, that's her husband. He had a lot going for himself though before he met this bitch. But let's continue.
Accolades. During his 4-year career at Tech, Ricardo had met his wife, Therian Wembush, in August of 1999. Therian Wembush was studying mechanical engineering at Georgia Tech and was a few years older than Ricardo. On top of her studies, she would tutor other students and athletes on many different subjects and was regarded as one of the brightest in her class.
If you didn't know who she really was, if she'd never done this bullshit, you'd be thinking, man, you know what? That's not bad looking though. You know what I'm saying? She got little thick thighs, and you know what I'm saying. She
has math tutor on her shirt, so that caught me. I was like, oh, she's smart.
She's intelligent. You'd be thinking like, man, she's intelligent. She's smart. She got a lot going for herself. And,
oh goodness, I guess she's the bad guy. Is she the bad guy in this one?
Well, you just gotta watch it.
Oh goodness.
You gotta watch it and find out.
The two got married and would go on to have a large family of 10 children.
Oh, she's pretty.
After graduating from Tech, Ricardo obtained a job in a railroad to support the family, whilst his wife Therian homeschooled the children. The family lived in a large 5-bedroom.
She had a good job though, the railroad.
He seems happy.
Do you know how many people can't get hired? You know the best engineers can never. I see engineers that's on the top can't even get hired at the railroad though. You know what I'm saying? She made it though. Well,
oh goodness, she make me nervous. I'm like, what did she do?
Don't get ahead of me now. Don't get ahead of me. So just watch.
House in Buford, Georgia, and were known to be incredibly religious, as both Therian and Ricardo were members of the strict movement called the Way of Yah. A neighbor of theirs had said in an interview, quote, "They were a very odd family. All the children were nicely dressed, but never allowed to be sociable. You would never see the children outside playing unless they were out as an entire family and both parents were watching. They seemed like strict disciplinarians. They didn't celebrate Christmas or Halloween. If a child in the area knocked on their door for trick-or-treat, they would be handed a Bible instead of candy. One time, they had a note on their door that blew into my..."
Okay, look.
Look
what makes them weird or different because they don't people and I'm gonna step on this because I don't celebrate holidays. I don't celebrate any holidays. But because I work at 2 jobs. One of my jobs, when I told them this, they immediately, like the people who I told this to, because they were trying to give me gifts. Well, take that back. She was this one driver. She was trying to give me it was something, I forgot what holiday. I don't know. I want to say whatever it was. It wasn't Christmas. Because I remember it being before. And I was like, oh, I thought she was just being nice, handing out things for the drivers, or for our team. And I was like, oh, thank you. She was like, well, this is for, I want to say Thanksgiving. She was like, well, yeah, this is your early Thanksgiving. And I said, oh, I'm sorry, I can't accept this. And I gave it back to her. I said, I don't celebrate any holidays. And it's like everybody started treating me so differently. And at first I thought I was tripping. And I was like, maybe I'm just tripping. And I started, I take a step back and I look at how things are going, the days and the weeks and the months after that. And I was like, oh, okay, so I'm not tripping. Y'all just treat me like I'm the crazy one because I don't celebrate what y'all celebrate. I didn't say anything, but after that, it went from that to just crazy stuff. They started rumors saying that I was sleeping with someone's husband. The dude showed me the text himself. And I was like, tell your wife, because she was showing her insecurities. I said, tell your wife that I don't want you nor anybody else. I'm here to come up here to work and go home.
Wait a minute. Wait. Maybe I'm high right now. Hasn't kicked in yet. Or maybe he said, I can't tell. You mean to tell me they did all this bullshit?
It was
Because you don't want to celebrate no fucking holidays?
I don't know. I know when they started acting different towards me. They already would like not really speak, which is fine. Okay. Cause and then but when that particular when I said that, that's when they would literally have team meetings. And I remember one day in particular, they had a team meeting and it was in front of my bus. And then I didn't know what was going on until someone came to my bus. Another person from another team said, you're having a team meeting right there. I get off my bus to go attend the team meeting. They walked as I was getting ready to as I was getting my stuff to get off the bus. They moved from my front of my bus to a couple buses over, and they were still holding the meeting. So by the time I got off my bus to get there, the meeting was over with.
Wow.
Yes. And I was like, okay, because
wow.
I remember, So at first I was like, well, maybe it was about because I know they was planning like a Christmas party or Christmas dinner or something for the supervisor for that team. I was like, well, maybe it was for that, and they know how to celebrate. So I was like, all right. So I just whatever. And then to kind of find out, it was something I needed to know because it was regarding the team for the school. For when we got to the school, and I was like, well, because another guy was like, we were supposed to do X, Y, and Z. And I said, well, no one told me. She was like, yeah, I was in that meeting. I was like, the one I wasn't invited to, I didn't know nothing about. She was like, well, and and I was like, it's cool. Oh. And I noticed how they always treated me and this other girl the same. And like you can tell that she didn't celebrate anything either because her nationality and all that. And so she didn't celebrate anything. And they treated us identical. And it's sad that people who don't celebrate are treated as if we're the aliens. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I mean, to be honest with you though, even as a little kid, I really did not like celebrating holidays. And I used to, and my first burst of envy was when I was in grammar school. I was in second grade. They was doing this stupid ass Christmas pageant or some bullshit like that. And I see this one sister, little sister, you know what I'm saying? And her and this other dude go and sit out. They don't have to do the they didn't have to do the Christmas pageant. And that was my first brush with envy because I'm like, dude, I want to sit out too. I don't want to do this bullshit. I want to sit out too. And I was like,
it's crazy.
And I asked him, I was like, hey, I got a question for you. How come you get to sit out of Christmas presents and all this and everything they hear? I want to do that too. I want to sit out too. No, I sit out too.
I wish.
I was like, I want to do none of this bullshit. I don't celebrate Easter. I don't celebrate Christmas. I don't celebrate none of this bullshit.
Yeah, and I don't think they understand.
Right.
So, regardless of what your reason is or not, I don't think they understand of how can you not.
Right. And I went to her, because I'm gonna go to the source to ask, and I ain't gonna be, hey, by the way, hey, what's up with that girl? And how come she gets to sell it? How come she don't get presents and stuff? I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna go directly to the source. And I'm gonna ask them. I'll say, hey, Rashonda, I got a question for you. Her name was Shonda, by the way. I'll say, I got a question for you. How come you get to sit out all these passions and you don't celebrate? You don't get any like presents or anything like that? And then that's why I first heard of Jehovah's Witnesses.
That they be confusing me with them, and I'm like, I'm not a Jehovah's Witness.
Right.
That because I don't celebrate, that does not make me automatically, I'm a Jehovah's Witness.
Right.
Woo!
And like I said, that's my first time hearing about Jehovah's Witnesses, and I was like, "What's that?" He was, and I asked her, "What's a Jehovah's Witness?" And she was like, she explained to me like basically Jehovah's Witnesses, those who went witnessing for the God Jehovah. And they had 144,000 that goes up to heaven and all this other good shit, right? And she was very articulate for someone that's was in second grade, though. You know what I'm saying?
Probably raised in that.
Yeah, she was her mom's a Jehovah's Witness. Her dad was.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, and I'm like, I didn't know what the word articulate meant, but she was that though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm like, how you get into that? She's like, well, my parents was in it too, so. My mom was in it, you know what I'm saying, and then by tether of her being my mother, I'm a Jehovah's Witness as well. I'm like, oh, you mean like, because I heard about because that's the time, with Michael Jackson, his videos and stuff like that, and he was like, one day I seen a video with him, Elizabeth Taylor, and somebody else was with them too, but. There was going like have little onesies on, and I didn't realize they still made adult onesies, had little onesies on, had the little Christmas hats and stuff like that. I was like, this dude is 30 something years old. He's a big ass kid. And then growing up, I understand why he did that. His parents are Jehovah's Witnesses. And by tether, so are they.
Wow.
Janet, Rebe, Latoya, everybody. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, so that's why he's doing this, because he never really had a fucking childhood. And I should have known when I got older and I watched that Michael Jackson movie. I should have knew something was up, because I don't see no Christmas decorations.
I didn't know that they were. Are they really?
Yeah, they're Jehovah's Witnesses. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah, they never celebrate Christmas, Thanksgiving, none of that. I mean, they did things on that day, but it was no celebration of Christmas. It's just a regular Thursday, though. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, I mean, that's why I was kind of fascinated with them at one time or another, though, because I'm like, damn, y'all, you know what y'all celebrate? And then, but then, out of everything you think is cool, there's always something that will change your mind real quick. Goddammit.
Yeah.
And what changed my mind? About being a Jehovah's Witnesses was like, nah, fuck that. Y'all got too many fucking rules, man. You mean to tell me I can't do this, that, the other? I like to have fun. I want to be natural. I want to be, do what it do, though. You know what I'm saying? I cannot be constrained like that, though. So I'm like, you know what? I respect you, but I'm gonna bow out.
So. Yeah, I feel like that's the best thing to do, is to just respect.
Yeah.
And then just leave it alone. You're just different. Just different people.
Right. I mean,
it's not for you. It's not for you. That's right. How I look at it. And with I'm not a Jehovah's Witness. I hate that people confuse me with a Jehovah's Witness because I think they do that because of how I carry myself too. I'm not in the drama. I'm not in the mess. But the drama and the mess finds me. But I'm not in the drama and I'm not in the mess. And I'm always bubbly, happy go lucky and all that.
Right.
Very positive. I'm very positive. But then I throw in, I don't celebrate, and I think people, like I mentioned before, I don't think they understand that concept, because I told like this one lady, I was like, yeah, I don't celebrate Christmas. Came around. I was like, no, I don't celebrate Christmas. She was like, oh, okay. So she was doing something for the baby and all that. And then, so she was like, okay, then yesterday she was like, yeah, I'm going to make this little thing for Valentine's Day and I'll put your baby in the middle. And I'm like,
no. What part of I don't celebrate holidays do you not understand?
That's when it sunk in again, because it's like a repeat. That's when it sunk in again. It's like, I know we had this full-blown conversation about me not celebrating any holidays, but okay. And it's like, I don't think they understand the concept of not, they be like, any holidays? None of them, And so, but anyway, so, and I hate that they were labeled as weird and they threw that in there because this family doesn't celebrate any holidays. And that's sad. That doesn't make them weird.
I get that, because when I tell people I don't believe in no kind of religion whatsoever, I believe what you call true spirituality be shit that was there before.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? They say they automatically say, "Oh, you don't believe in religion?" And I also tell them, like, look, I respect the fact that you believe in a deity, but as far as I'm concerned, those deities don't exist like the way you say, though. You know what I'm saying? The deities exist the way, what it is. It's basically, since there's an infancy and the universe is going around, each universe have a watcher, if you will. No, you know what I'm saying? But just don't think that's the only watcher that's around, though. There's this one, this one, this one, and it keeps going forever, though.
We're just everyone's gonna have their own different beliefs and their own way of looking at life. I just think the best thing is to just respect each other behind it. Like me, I don't do religion, but I know I'm a child of God. You know what I'm saying? And I know, and that's what I go by. I go by the Bible and all that. And so I try my best to continue to stick with it. And I know who I am. You know what I'm saying? I know all of that. And I think people get that mixed up by being blindsided with their own beliefs, and people take it and turn it into whatever they want to turn it to without actually listening or hearing what it is I do believe. And they'll it just, like you have your own beliefs and you have your own what you believe in, and I have my own. We're very different about that. We have different, feelings about that. But at the end of the day, it's about respect. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And so, and with these people, like going back to this video here, and I it just irks me when their neighbors want to call them weird or different or whatever because they don't celebrate just because they're not a cookie cutter just like them. Want to celebrate holidays. That's, to me, so stupid. It's petty.
Right. Now I put it like this: if I didn't know what they did, I would actually agree with everything they're doing. Why the fuck do I need to socialize with you for? Why do I need to look? I'm teaching my children a certain way. I don't want you corrupted that certain way because your certain way may not be something that they would even believe in the first place. You know what I'm saying? I say
that's true. That is true.
And I say this. See, my whole philosophy is this: I'm not gonna change nobody else's narrative to fit my own, and I expect the same respect at the vice versa too as well. Unless see, that's not absolute though. Unless it's a discrimination that unless it will fuck your life up, then you can say something. Then you can say, hey, yeah, nah, I wouldn't do that if I were you, bro, because you know what it is. Because like say your homegirl's a crackhead, right? You don't sit there and allow them to smoke crack all over again and then fuck their life up. You can't accept that.
That's
you
not
have
true,
to,
friend.
you have to say something. You have to say, hey, you fucking up, man. You really fucking up, man. And the reason why you fucking up because you're doing this bullshit right. Get rid of this shit right here. I cannot sit here and watch you destroy your fucking self because that's gonna be on me. You know what I'm saying? What kind of friend do I be if I tell you, I think you're right to do that? No, I'll be the most fucked up person in the world, though, man. Shit. But just don't talk about my weed, though, because weed never did anything to me except for relax me.
It's so silly.
All right, let's continue.
A yard which read, "Those who work on Sunday should be put to death." End quote. The homeschooled children who didn't have much to do with the outer world still had many forms of stimulation and entertainment in their house. They had an abundance of books, toys, movies, and even an entire room dedicated to Lego. The siblings all played together and were very close with one another. 9 of the children all slept in the master bedroom that had 9 individual beds, and the parents slept in a separate room with their newborn child. At some point during 2014, an anonymous call was placed alerting authorities that a child was being held captive in the basement of the house. Upon investigation, the Wimbush's eldest son, Ricardo Jr., was found in a locked closet downstairs, and another one of their sons, Isaiah, was suffering from an enormous skin cancer tumor which had been growing on his abdomen for years. This led to the parents losing custody over all of their children and facing charges for cruelty, neglect, and abuse. In the trial for these crimes, the parents elected to represent themselves over a state-appointed defense attorney.
That's where they fucked up, man. Right there, man.
Oh my goodness.
Only a fool would have themselves only a fool would have themselves as a client. You know what I'm saying?
They probably felt that no one else would understand them, and the person they got wouldn't understand them, and that they can probably better explain it themselves, which I kind of get, but I hate that they did it that way, though.
Yeah, because they fucked up, man. Because man, I wonder, there's only a very few motherfuckers who actually act that their own lawyer actually won their cases. I can count it in my hand. I can count both of my hands, all my body parts, all my everything, and I'll still have body parts and fingers left over, though. You know what I'm saying? Oh shit! I'm just saying, though, man, dude.
I don't know.
I'm just saying.
I'm nervous about how this is gonna turn out. I wonder why they had him locked up. So,
Well, I mean, you just gotta watch this. Let's continue.
Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to first tell you that I am not an attorney. And just like David, that ruddy little Hebrew shepherd boy, when he went up against Goliath, refused King Saul's armor because he had not tested it, I do not seek to put on the mantle of an attorney. I'm just like all of you, a layperson. The only difference is that I'm accused of a crime, and you are not. Or that I am dressed in Gwinnett County Jail issue greens, and you are dressed in regular clothes. It is easier to believe a lie than it is to believe the truth. Let me say that again.
Okay, you know what?
That part is true.
I would have to admit, she's very highly intelligent. I can tell that.
Oh,
but,
goodness.
But here's the thing though. If you have disturbing of the spirit though, you know what I'm saying? You could tell of the shadow that's around her. There's something not quite there.
Is this the same? Is this the wife?
Yeah, just the wife.
Same one from the picture?
Mm-hmm.
She looks different. Maybe she lost weight. Oh, she probably lost weight.
Yeah, dude. Anybody lose weight in jail. That
is true.
That food sucks.
Is true.
Dude, I went on I was in a county jail for 3 days. No, for real though. While I was in a county jail for 3 days, dude, I went on a liquid fast, bro. Seriously, I went on a liquid fast for 3 days, man, because I would not eat that bullshit.
The prison I worked at, on the food truck, the food truck that came in, it was labeled like it said the food is not meant for human consumption.
Yeah, I seen that shit. Like, what the fuck?
Like one of my inmates had pointed it out, and I was like, "Nuh-uh." Food truck came in. I was like, "Ah."
Yeah, for real, no bullshit. I seen that shit. That's why I went on that 3-day one, man.
My goodness, it's not funny.
No.
She lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, she did.
She must have lost his weight before she went to jail, because that was a lot.
Well, I mean, could be, but or they could lost it in jail because, like I said, really want to eat that bullshit.
She was a good solid 3 at least in those pictures. At least a good solid 3.
Right? She wasn't, she's not that tall either. So.
I know, that's what I'm saying. She hasn't been a good solid 3.
Could be, but she did look like she kind of lift weights, though. You know what I'm saying?
Ain't no lifting weights. Those were not lifting weights.
You know what I'm saying? She looked like she did lift weights, or she could lift turkey legs, though. You know what I'm saying? And Kit Kat.
I like a good smoked turkey leg.
I bet you do, yo. Especially from Turkey Hut.
I ain't never had it. I don't.
Oh man,
I'm not going there. I'm not going.
It's actually pretty cool down there, though. You know what I'm saying?
No, it was a comment they made and what they did, and I was like, you know what? I'm not.
What did they do?
Nah, I'll tell you that off there. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna.
I got you. All right, let's continue.
To believe a lie than it is to believe the truth. So let's talk about the lie on paper. We have in no way caused either of our 10 biological children cruel and excessive mental nor physical pain. So now I have a mission for each of you. Look to your inner childlike spirit and treat this trial like a scavenger hunt, where you are the fact finders, even the truth seekers, seeking to find the pieces to the puzzle that describes cruelty to children, and I will ask you to return a verdict of not guilty. Before I close, I'd like to address the opening statement by the state. He gave you a description of our life. Definitely our homeschooling parents. Trying to think of everything that he said. He was telling our story. All of our children share one bedroom, the master bedroom. And I'll tell you, the state is correct. At some point, Ricardo decided that his room would be in the basement. Did his parents send him down there to stay? No, they didn't. He made a choice. And that choice was his. Was he forced to stay in a room without social interaction or without mental stimulation? No, he wasn't. But Ricardo was disobedient in some ways. And those ways I'll let him tell you. I'll let him tell you his story. I'll let him tell you his facts, his justifications, his reasonings, so that you can decide. Thank you.
Throughout this trial,
Wow.
Okay, I get the basement part. Okay,
Ooh.
I'm still. I don't know where I stand yet, but I get because not my
Ooh.
oldest. Okay, so because it looks like he was the
Ooh.
oldest. So my oldest did say that if we did move into a place where there's a basement, she wanted the whole basement. And I was like, okay, you can have that. So okay, I get that, but I'm like, I don't know where I stand yet because I don't know what's going on.
Yo, let me tell you
Don't
something.
tell me what's going on. I
No,
want
no,
right
I ain't
now.
gonna tell you
Tell
what's
me
good. No, no,
something.
I ain't
Tell
gonna,
me something.
I'm gonna
All
tell you
right, tell me.
something.
Tell
Tell
me
you
something.
something. Just let me tell you. All right, let me tell you something, man. Look here. I took psychology classes, you know, so with criminology and all this other shit, right? There was this chapter on body
Language.
body language, yeah.
Yeah.
And I can tell you straight the fuck up, this bitch is a narcissistic, sociopathic. He's a and then she is the one of the best liars I've ever seen. You know why? Because when you mix a little truth in a lie, it poets the lie and it all becomes truth to the motherfucker who's listening, but they'll know behind the doors there's a lie right there.
Oh
But
my goodness, my head. What is going on?
I'm telling you, man. Before the truth points to a lie, it's blocking the lie though. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, oh well, I think I believe it, but you know, there's something about this not right. And then it just woof over the lie, and it all becomes true. Now, like, you know what? I think she was right. You know what? I think she did right. But if you have discernment and you have the discernment of the spirit, and you also have the king mind to look at a person and know that they the most full of shit motherfucker I've ever seen in my life, yo, man. Dude, the whole mouth movements and cooking the eyes to the right, the whole keep your eyes closed so you will see the person that you're talking to. You doing all this, and so you have to see their eyes, and using dissonant phrases. Yeah,
Oh,
Disney phrases like say me. I'm just gonna use that.
what did she say? What that was dissonant phrases?
I'm gonna give you an example. What what I'm saying. Say
No, I know what it is. I know what it
okay.
is, but maybe I missed it with her. What did she say?
She said, okay, one part she said that boy instead of my son. And then she used his full name. Now, well, my son says such. No, Rico Wimbush Jr. says this. Basically, it's a way of distancing yourself from the actual person.
I get what you're saying. But coming from like a parent standpoint, representing have to discuss something regarding your child. I do that too. Like if I have to go to court regarding when I did go to court regarding child support, because I don't get child support, but every time I had to go to, and they would, whatever, I would call my child. I would not say my child. I would call her full name.
Right.
That way we have a clear understanding of who we're talking about, because you don't know me from Adam. And yeah, my name is on that paper, but you could accidentally, get some paperwork mixed up or have a typo or whatever. You need to know that that's my child. Even when I go to her school or whatever, if I'm talking to her teacher, I won't say my child. We're going to call her by name. Right. If I have to say her full name, we're going to call her by full name. And that's with anywhere, I won't, or whatever. Only time I'll say my child is if they don't have her name on paper. Like if I'm talking to my job, I gotta, my child has a doctor's appointment. I'll say my child. Other than that, like in the court setting, I've always said her full name, but it wasn't to I get what you're saying. Right. I get what you're saying, but it wasn't to distance. That's why I'm like,
well, I mean,
so, yeah, but you know the story, so I'm like, okay.
Well, not really. Like it's only watch snippets. I didn't watch the whole thing.
Okay. But you know the basis.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, and also
I don't know anything about the story.
Well, just wait. There's more. Just wait.
Like some of it I can kind of relate, but I'm like, well, goodness, I don't want like the whole basement situation. I get that.
Yeah, I mean, my room is.
Yeah, if she wants to go to the basement, yeah, I'll go. You can have the whole
but
basement.
here's the thing. That was my choice though. Like, hey, I got a whole basement to myself. I got the whole
but that's what she was saying too. So that's why I don't know.
But here's the thing though. Just wait. Remember, I always teach you. It's an opposition to everything you hear and say.
Okay. Oh goodness.
All of the Windbush children were called to the stand to testify, having to answer questions from both the state's prosecutor and their parents. During these testimonies, they were held in another room and spoke with the family via digital means. Their faces were not allowed to be filmed. Ricardo Jr., the boy who was found in the closet, was the first to take the stand.
Your parents are going to have the chance to ask you some questions now. Is that all right? Yes. Okay. Thank you, Ricardo.
Now, if this was a murder case, they would never been allowed to cross-examine their own children, though. If this was a murder case, that would never happen. But
it's in a murder case.
Yeah, it's one of those abusive cases, so they have to do it. But anything higher than that,
it's so awkward.
I know, right?
So awkward. Is so awkward.
I mean, to me personally, I would not allow this anyway. If it's not a murder case, I would not allow this. I would actually know. Look, you're going to have co-hazard. They're going to cross-examine your children, not you. You get to cross-examine anywhere else, but your children, your husband's off limits. Even though your husband's a defendant, just like you.
So awkward.
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
Just wait.
I know.
Hey, handsome. How are you doing?
Good.
Second thing I would definitely do, please refrain from any personal feelings that you have about the witness. That's what I would do. Don't be saying, hey, handsome, hey, baby, hey, sweetheart, hey, this, that, the other.
But that's still her son. No, you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
No, I would not allow that if I was a judge. Like, excuse me. Please refrain from using any kind of personal feeling adjectives to describe your children. That's what I would do, man. For real. I mean, court is supposed to be impartial. You want to be impartial? Let's do it all the way, man. For real. Just wait. There's more.
Now I'm going to ask you some questions. It's so good to see your face and that voice. I'm going to take you back a little bit. Tell me, how did you learn how to play basketball?
Talking.
Did you ever play basketball outside with your parents?
Yes.
Where'd you play?
In the backyard.
In the backyard. Did you ever take tumbling?
Yes.
Did you ever take gymnastics?
Yes.
Did you ever do karate?
Yes.
Do you remember the place that you did karate at?
Yes.
What was the name of it?
Dojo.
Dojo, yeah. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about before your room got moved down to the basement. Do you remember things that you were doing prior to that? Do you remember inappropriately touching your siblings?
Objection, Your Honor. The witnesses answered no, that he did.
That's why I would not allow them cross-examine their own children.
But wait, why? If he did that,
well, here's the thing, though. She brought it. You see what she's doing, right? Do you really see?
She's bringing up the good things that they did because they're demonizing the family. You know, making it look like they're weird and they didn't allow their kids to be social. When clearly, by going to these events, you're gonna have to be social. Right. So therefore, she's negating. She's crossing that off. Like clearly, we're social. Then now, you know.
Wow.
He's touching. Wait, we gotta finish playing this. I don't know.
You know what? You will be a dope ass defense attorney, man. I'm telling you. You know what? You'll be a dope ass attorney, though, man. I swear, yo. You're now making me believe. Well, goddamn it, maybe she didn't do anything that bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, wow, you're good.
Because you gotta come from I'm trying to come from understanding both sides. You know, all sides. You know what I'm saying? Rather than like. I don't know, because one thing my daddy taught me was you need to hear everybody's story before making a judgment. And so that's what I'm trying to do. You know, I'm trying to
Right.
understand coming in as a mother, but then at the same time, I do see it could be pain that she's feeling, but at the same time, it could be she's trying to control the situation. But I gotta play it out. I gotta listen to it. I gotta watch it. I don't know.
Seriously, you will make man do. If
I don't know.
if Ted Bundy would have had you an attorney, you'll make me believe. Well, goddamn, maybe he is incident though. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know, because I dated a Ted Bundy. He was crazy. The David situation.
Oh, wait, he didn't kill 100 women.
No, he didn't kill.
Oh.
You remember he had 2 different lives.
Oh, wait a minute.
That
But Ted Bundy wasn't.
the baby. I know. He killed. He was. Then Ted Bundy had a whole family.
Yeah.
So normal. And then his other side of himself was like murdering people.
Okay, now I get what you're saying.
You get it?
I got it.
Yes. I was dating someone who I thought was so normal.
Yeah.
But
Oh
he
yeah.
had a whole different life.
He sure the hell did.
Anyway, that's off topic. That's off topic.
Let's continue.
Did not recall.
Do you remember ever doing anything to harm your siblings?
Yes.
Are you okay with talking about that right now?
No.
No? Okay, understood. Do you remember being in Florida in the swimming pool at the hotel?
Yes.
Yes. Do you remember what happened that day?
Yes.
Okay, will you tell us about what happened that day?
I had almost drowned because you had asked me if I had needed help while I was on one of the floaties, and I said no. And I had floated into the deep end and fell off of the floaty.
So you remember me asking you right as you were falling, do you need help?
Yes.
And what did you say?
No.
Why did you say that and you knew you needed help?
Because I wanted to try and do things on my own.
And what happened after that?
I fell off and almost drowned.
And who saved you that day?
You did.
A reoccurring pattern emerges in Therian's questioning.
Dude, she is fucking good, yo. I'm gonna have to rethink my whole strategy. Seriously, she is fucking good, man. I'm like, wow.
I feel like I'm in for a surprise and I'm nervous about all this. Because it's like,
Yeah, I'm getting
don't
that.
tell me. Yeah, don't tell me
I
what's
don't know.
gonna happen if you're
Well, see, here's the thing. I don't know what's
You
going
don't
on.
know?
Because
Okay.
I didn't get to watch that part. But I'm having a real bad feeling about this though, man.
No.
I'm serious.
Because you gotta teenagers they do things, you know, and they're not gonna be too proud about it and talking about it right away. But they from putting a whole household in danger, from doing things they knew they know that's not how they were brought up, you know. And so
right. I'm just saying.
Clearly he wasn't brought up of touching his siblings.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
So, you know,
well, maybe.
And if that's the reason for separating him from the family, then okay. Oh my goodness. Did I tell you? Because this is kind of related. I don't think I told you. Oh my goodness. So I was watching, I think it was it on YouTube? I think it was on YouTube. Anyway, I was watching this, it's like a little whatever. And it was about how this, it's not funny. This family, so it was the mama and the daddy, the older son, I think I know he had a younger brother and a younger sister. Right. The older son was around 9 or 10-ish. Mm-hmm. Anyway, he came to his mama one day, said, he says that he felt that he was going to, or he wanted to rape his siblings. He says, I don't care if they fight. He said, I'm gonna like it more. He says, I'm gonna rape he wants to rape his sibling. And so the mother immediately went to the daddy about it, moved the boy. I think she moved or changed his locks or whatever, changed the locks to where his lock was on the outside door. So when he went to bed, they locked the door or whatever. And he says, then a little later, he goes back to them talking about you can try to lock, he said, you can try to keep me away from my siblings, but I'm going to rape my siblings. And he was really trying to rape the brother. And so.
What the fuck?
Yes. So, and it's like, as a parent, you what do? You know what I'm saying? You're trying to protect your kids, but you got to protect your kids from your other child, but your other child's a predator? You know?
Oh.
So they ended up taking the child to a psych ward or a kid's psych, whatever. And so he stayed there for a bit, and then they couldn't release him because he admitted to saying that not only now that he wanted to rape him, but he wanted to kill him. So
hell no.
He was so determined to rape his brother. So they had to keep him there. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I know that's an extreme case to what we're talking about now. So as a parent, if the reasons for her to have put him in the basement to separate him from his siblings to whom he was hurting in any type of way, I understand that, and to me that's justifiable, you know. But if she locked him in there or whatever, again, it depends on to the extreme of what type of damage he was doing to the child. I can kind of get that, because again, the other family did lock the other son up at night to where he didn't have access to the bathroom, he didn't have access to anything, whatever. If the house burnt down, he'd probably be the last one to get saved because he's locked in his room. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, I get that, but I don't know what's going on with this case here.
Or I got another theory.
Oh goodness, I'm nervous.
I do have another theory here. Do you know what false
accusation?
No, not accusation. Memory planting. Memory planting. That's what it is.
Yeah.
You can actually have a way to give people false memories of them doing something, and then you say it so many times that you put pictures in their head, they be like, well, maybe I did hurt one of my siblings. I don't remember doing it, but I probably have doing it because I got memories of it. But
that is true.
If I got memories of it and everything, but
they do that in interrogations too.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, I think I did it. I have memories of doing it, but I don't remember doing it. Just saying, that could be the case too. But let's continue.
Yes.
Her son. She appears to believe that Ricardo Jr. has an elevated sense of pride, and that this pride led him to not asking for help in the water that day. It would appear that this belief runs in conjunction with her view that he is a compulsive liar, something that is most noticeable upon the testimonies of the Wimbush's other children.
Do you remember Ricardo growing up?
A little bit.
What was Ricardo like?
He didn't always tell the truth.
Didn't always tell the truth.
Do you have a sibling that used to get in trouble a lot?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Can you tell me who that sibling is?
Ricardo.
And do you remember why he would get in trouble?
Because he lied. He got beaten because he didn't tell the truth all the time.
Do you remember why Ricardo's room was in the basement?
Because he was lying. Because he was lying.
He was what?
He was not telling the truth.
He was not telling the truth. Was he doing anything else?
He was stealing food.
He was what?
Stealing food.
Stealing food. Let me ask you a question. Do you remember why Ricardo's room was in the basement?
I remember that he lied a lot, and he didn't really want to tell the truth, and y'all had discussed it, and he said that he would rather go in the basement than get whoopings.
Okay. Very detailed answer. Thank you.
Each child that was interviewed said they didn't really remember why Ricardo Jr. had gone to the basement, other than he lied a lot and he got beaten a lot. They say that he chose to go to the basement to avoid future beatings, and all of the children testify to this except for one of their girls. Her name is Hope Wimbush. Hope appears to have a more detailed recollection of why Ricardo Jr. had moved downstairs.
Do you remember Ricardo doing anything else?
He violated some of our siblings' privacy.
And what do you mean by that?
He inappropriately touched some of them.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
I see where you're getting at with this. I see
So
what
then
I already know. I already know what you're gonna say.
Wait a minute.
I'm thinking the
That's-
same thing.
Those words are very, it's little so
Adult,
yeah, it's they're
Adult-like.
their vernacular is impeccable.
Yeah, it's adult like. I know exactly what you're gonna say.
Mhm.
Push play.
I'm like, damn, your vernacular is almost as good as mine. Like, it's impeccable.
He violated their personal parts.
Okay.
Oh, I'm Dan. We've never met before, but hi. You seem like a very smart young lady to me. Where did you learn the term violated their personal privacy?
What do you mean by that question?
Well, you said that Ricardo violated the privacy of some siblings. I was just wondering where you heard the term violated their personal privacy. You know where you heard that term?
No.
Is that something y'all have discussed in the family where you live now?
No.
The prosecutor seems suspicious of whether Hope was actually present when Ricardo Jr. is said to have touched his siblings, but he does not press the young girl to dig into these memories. As the trial moves along, there appears to be a confusion surrounding the exact date and reason for why Ricardo Jr. was sent downstairs to the basement. None of the children can really remember an exact incident for when he was moved, and his parents say that he did have a choice to go down there, and that he made the decision to move to the basement so that he no longer would get the beatings that he hated so much. Beatings that he was receiving frequently due to his lying. And the things that it is claimed that he would lie about was taking food when he wasn't meant to, and playing games or reading books without permission, then denying that he did these things. Some of his siblings recall that when Ricardo Jr. was in trouble, he would wet the bed at night, and in the morning he would lie about this to his parents, which would land him in even more trouble. But here lies the confusion. The parents also say that they moved him down there to separate him from the siblings that he was molesting, that they moved him to protect their other children. Whatever the reason is, Ricardo Jr. is moved downstairs, and he himself also appears confused as to why he is moved there. At times, he testifies that he was moved downstairs because he was lying. There are other times during his testimony that he says it was his choice to go down because he didn't want to get the beatings. Then he also says that he thinks it was because he may have touched his siblings. But the most common answer he gives is that he doesn't remember why he was moved down there at all. Whichever the reason may be, in August of 2012,
So now you see what I'm saying?
He didn't touch him.
Yeah,
He
I'm
didn't do
like,
it. He didn't do that. He may have been lying over petty stuff and they got frustrated with them, but there's a better way of handling that. I understand trying to make your child be honest, but there's a way better way than whooping and and then on the whooping and beating part, like it's like, were you beating? Because I've heard people use the word beat when it's just a simple whooping. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, so, and I understand not wanting to get whooped all the time. And that could be a reason why, and it could have been a mutual thing. Like he could have just, if the choices were, hey, you can stay up here, you continue to get your whoopings if you want to continue lying, or you can go to the basement. So he could have made that decision on those options. You know what I'm saying?
right, but then if that's the case, then why say that he did something to your siblings though? Now that's going a
To
little
cover
too,
them, to cover them. So
that's going a little
that's
too
probably what that is.
overboard though.
That is overboard. That's extreme. And that's sad
Yeah.
if that's the case, because and then to make it public and to try to convince not only himself but another sibling that that's what happened, that's going to cause friction in within the kids, within the siblings and all that, and that's sad. Oh boy.
Here's the thing,
See,
though.
he didn't do it. He couldn't have done it.
Exactly. Also,
This
here's
is
the thing,
obvious
though.
he didn't do it.
And also, here's another thing too. That's what narcissists do. They
Well,
plant.
yeah, I know.
They plant. Yeah, we both know. They plant stories. Go one person, hey, by the way, you know she said she can whoop your ass, and you tell the other person, hey, by the way, she said she can fuck your man, and then now they got conflict together, type shit. Though, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So me personally, I never liked motherfuckers like that though, man. For real, I stayed away from motherfuckers like that because
Wonder what was the end goal? I mean, this sounds like it was just to cover themselves in case they got caught, and that's why, or maybe they got caught and they knew it and they threw that in the mix and hey, well, he's down there because he inappropriately touched someone. But even with that, they told on themselves by using those terms to the child, using that terms, you know, and kids are gonna repeat. Like, for example, Naira, she can instigate around here. And Ellie's only 3. So Naira being older, she's a teenager. And I always tell Naira, stop instigating. Ellie, she used that word fluently here. You know, she's only 3 years old. She's like, oh, not instigating again. Oh, she instigated, and she knows how to use it. She used it properly. So they have to have conditioned, you know, because, you know, a 3-year-old's not going to say instigating. And however old that girl is, you can tell she that was a script.
Mm-hmm.
That was a script.
That's what I'm saying though. That's
anyone.
Exactly. That's a
or maybe so maybe he may have been playing around or whatever, and they took it as him inappropriate. Like, you know, if you're playing around with your siblings or you're playing wrestling, he could have been wrestling with his siblings. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And they took that as him inappropriately touching someone.
True.
Being that the household was strict, you see what I'm saying?
True.
I hate that. Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
12. Ricardo Jr. had begun living in the basement.
Did we say that you had to stay in the basement? That your room had to stay in the basement?
That's what I remember.
Okay. Do you remember having conversations with Mommy about you coming back upstairs?
Yes.
Yes. So when your mommy would ask you if you were ready to come back upstairs, what would you say?
I think I said no.
And
I'm not sure.
Yeah, you did. Do you know why you would have said no?
Because I didn't think that you wanted me back upstairs.
Okay.
Attached to the basement is a small room called the Blue Room. It is a very small closet and is the only other room that Ricardo Jr. would have access to throughout the long days that he would be down there alone. On the wall in this closet, Therian paints the word pride with large letters, and there are a range of smaller printed words around it.
Do you remember talking about that word pride that was on the wall?
Yes.
And the acronyms that were on the wall with the word pride. Will you talk about those? I don't know how much of that you remember at this point, but will you talk about pride, as you said, as acronyms?
They were characteristics of pride.
Characteristics of pride. Is pride a dangerous thing to have?
It depends on how and when the feeling of pride is.
Is it so? Let's use an example of if somebody's about to drown and they know they need help and they don't ask for it. Is that a dangerous time to have pride?
Yes.
When so should that person just ask for help?
Yes.
Ricardo Jr. is not allowed upstairs during the daytime and is unable to interact with his siblings or get anything to entertain himself. Sometimes his siblings would come down to visit him, but these events were rather rare. One night, to relieve the boredom, Ricardo Jr. sneaks upstairs and grabs a portable DVD player so that he could watch a movie whilst everyone else slept.
Do you remember hiding the DVD player behind the rocking chair in the basement, in your room?
Yes.
Were you allowed to watch movies?
Yes. When we asked for permission.
Why didn't you ask for permission to watch movies?
Because I was always afraid that you would say no.
You were afraid that I would say no. I understand. Did you get in trouble a lot about not asking for permission?
Yes.
Did you get in? Do you remember the other one thing that you got in trouble for the most?
Lying.
Lying. Will you tell us why you lied, Ricardo?
Because I never wanted to get in trouble.
You never wanted to get in trouble. Did you feel like the truth would get you in trouble?
Yes.
So were you doing things wrong that you felt like the truth would get you in trouble?
Yes.
So can I ask you this?
Wait a minute. I just thought about something. I think I know why they're allowing her to cross-examine their children. I think I know.
Walk herself into prison.
Yeah, I'm telling you, she's digging herself. They allow her to dig their own grave, and so when they allow her to dig her own grave, it's going to be easy to vote your ass go to prison. It's going to be easy, but I don't know if that happened or not. So let's continue.
So wait, that was punishment.
So what?
So him being in the basement was punishment, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It's okay.
From what I hear, yeah.
That's what I'm hearing too. Like being in the basement was punishment.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. I mean, I would think, because I was gonna say I would think that would be more freedom for him because he'll have privacy rather than sleeping in the room with all his siblings. But that's punishment. He had to stay down there. I don't know. That's kind of torturous. I don't know. I'm having mixed feelings. I gotta process it. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Here you go.
I don't remember.
Understood.
A few more incidents like this happen, where Ricardo Jr. sneaks upstairs and takes a book and some food, and he receives punishment for both of these. His parents tell him at one point that they wish to use the basement now and he can no longer live in it, so they move his bed into the tiny closet that I mentioned earlier called the Blue Room. This room is barely big enough to fit the bed itself and has one window that looks out into the yard. Ricardo Jr. is told that he is not allowed to leave the room without his parents' permission. One night, again, Ricardo Jr. sneaks upstairs to get food, and on this occasion, his father catches him in the act. This results in a severe beating using a belt, where he was hit between 30 and 40 times. Due to this incident, Ricardo Jr. is afraid that there will be more consequences to come. So the next night, on August 22nd, 2012, he takes a sleeping bag as his only item and runs away from the house. After wandering aimlessly for 45 minutes, someone spots him hanging around the front of their residence and contacts the police to report a suspicious person.
Well, where you look?
Did they say 10 or he could have been older than 10? How old was he? They mentioned
maybe 11 or 12 because that's what he's looking like.
That's what he looks like, right? Okay.
Yeah, like 10, 11. I mean, I got a question though. If they're doing all this good stuff for this child, right? Why is he stealing food from his own crib though? Because I never had to steal food, my own shit. You know what I mean?
Well, maybe there was like a time limit. I know growing up in my household, like it was called kitchen clothes. On kitchen clothes, you couldn't eat. It didn't matter if you were starving. That meant you decided not to eat dinner.
But see, here's the thing.
So I don't know what's going on with him.
But here's the thing, though, man. My mom used to do that. Hey, I'm not cooking anything tonight, but we always got these pizza chips and these cookies and this ice cream.
But did y'all have a time limit that you're like you had to stop eating?
No,
we did. We had a time limit.
Once
the kitchen was clean and everything was put up, at that point, no one else could get food. That's you. If you didn't eat, you didn't eat. But it wasn't. But everyone ate before then. So right. I'm like.
No, I mean we were allowed to have snacks though. You know what I'm saying?
We didn't do all that.
Yeah, we were allowed to have snacks like little Chico stick bags here,
Yeah.
We ate
that during the daytime, but like at night when everything was clean and put up, when kitchen was closed.
I mean, we did that too, but especially when Fridays and Saturdays, when my mom didn't cook at all. It's a tradition back in Mississippi where they cook Sunday through Thursday, maybe Friday and Saturday, you're on your own. You gotta make some sandwiches or do
Yeah.
something, or make yourself a pack of oodles and noodles or something though, because or sometimes my mom used to take us to this Chinese place, which is still no, actually no, it's not. They closed like a couple years ago. And I've been eating here since I was like 8 years old, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, that was tradition. We go to Chinese food or this and that and the other. We didn't eat McDonald's till we was like 13 years old. So you know what I'm saying. And besides, my mom made better. Mom made us better
Well,
burgers.
home cook will always be better than buying out.
Exactly. But and we want to be like the little kids, like, yeah, I want McDonald's, I want McDonald's. But then I got disappointed, like, this is bullshit. Man, my mom's burgers were bigger than that goddamn quarter pounders.
That's true.
Like, this is bullshit.
That's crazy.
No, let's continue. Yeah.
I saw the kid walking down the road with a sleeping bag. I made contact with him. I asked him, first off, what's your name? He said, I don't know. I said, okay, where are you coming from? He said, I'm coming from an orphanage. I asked how long he'd been walking. He first stated he'd been walking on the streets for 2 months, living off of water and food from passerbyers. He gave me the names of Mike Darvin, with a date of birth of 9/13/2012, Mike Darwin, 9/13/2012, and Kashawn Richards, 3/11/2000. Upon running these in GCIC, which is our database, I was unable to get any kind of information about the kid's identity. When I put him in the back of the patrol car, he finally gave me his real name, which is Ricardo Winbush, and his date of birth, which I was able to, and he gave me his mother's phone number. I contact the mother, and I advise her, hey, I have your son on the side of the road. He's giving me a false name. I need you to come claim custody of this child.
Therian collects Ricardo from the police station, and he is taken home, then put straight back into the closet. As a result of him running away, they apply a sliding lock to the outside of the door and lock him in. This is where Ricardo Jr. now stays for the next 18 long months. White paint is applied to the outside of the window so Ricardo cannot see what is going on in the outside world, and the light bulb for the room is removed from its fixture. Ricardo Jr. states that the room would get incredibly dark, especially on days where there was cloud coverage blocking the sun. His parents would bring him food once or twice a day, and this consisted of oats, rice, bread, and tuna. At these times, when his food was delivered, he was escorted to the downstairs bathroom to relieve himself. If he was unable to wait for these bathroom visits, he was given a plastic jar that he could use whilst he waited for them to come down. Over time, his bed sheets became moldy from the humidity and were removed but not replaced. He wore a tank top and some underwear that were too small for him, and not only was he not able to change these clothes, but he was unable to shower or bathe himself for the entire 18-month duration. His skin had mold and fungus growing on it, and there was a pile of hair and muck building up around the floor where the bed was. He did not exercise, was not provided any books, toys, or entertainment, and would often lay on the bed and listen to his siblings having fun and playing upstairs, which he could hear clearly. Ricardo Jr. says,
imagine his lungs.
Now you see what I'm saying?
Imagine his lungs. He's breathing in all that's going into his lungs. That's asthma. That's all kind of lung issues.
Emphysema.
All kinds of lung issues.
And the fact that
his skin. Oh man, he had a growth on his skin.
That's what happens. Dude, I can't even go more than 2 days without taking a shower.
I didn't know that was possible.
Imagine a year and a half. A year and a half now washing your ass. A year and a half with no soap and water. No water in period. Boy, I swear.
I want to give him a hug now.
Man, that's fucked up, man. For real, that's so fucked up, man.
Poor babe.
Yeah. All right, let's continue with these children. Oh my god, man.
there playing with them, and for that entire period in the closet, he didn't see his siblings once. His muscles deteriorated, and he suffered from a severe lack of vitamin D. Due to boredom, he would scratch at the paint on the walls, which damaged his nails, and doing this landed him in more trouble with his parents. The only stimulation he had was that word pride written on the wall, with the many words related to it surrounding. Whilst Ricardo Jr. is on the stand, his mother continues to question him about this period of his life when he lived in the closet.
Do you remember your mommy calling you handsome?
Yes.
Do you remember your mommy calling you phenomenal?
Yes.
Where did you come up with the estimate that your room was in the basement for 2 years? How did you arrive at that estimate?
It was just a guess because I didn't know like time and stuff from being in that room.
Okay. Are you afraid of your mommy and daddy?
No.
Do you remember your mommy ever telling you, Ricardo, you can't stay down here forever?
Yes.
You said that you wanted to be upstairs with everybody else playing. Couldn't you have just told mommy and daddy that you wanted to come back upstairs?
I could have.
And you didn't?
No.
That's all I have. Thank you so much. I love you, handsome.
No.
All right, Mr. Mayfield, redirect.
No, Your Honor.
It is unknown who reported the call, but the child abuse hotline was contacted and tipped that there was a child who was being kept in the basement closet of this house. On the 15th of June 2014, a Department of Family and Children's Services representative visits the residence.
She invited me into the home and ushered me into an office that was right by the front door. And then she told me Mr. Winbush would be right there. And so Mr. Winbush came and the three of us sat in the office and talked for about 2 hours. Mrs. Winbush reported that she followed Jesus for 8 years, and Jesus taught forgiveness. And at some point she decided that Ricardo did not deserve forgiveness anymore. And so according to her beliefs from the Old Testament, when someone commits a sin, they should be separated and they should have to pay restitution. So he was sent down to the basement to separate from the family as a punishment.
Well, one goddamn minute. Hold up. So wait a minute. So maybe it's me. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that separated from people. That's only for motherfuckers who got a leprosy and shit. That's only for leprosy.
Well, back then it was leprosy, and if you were on your period.
Yeah.
But sick, yeah, being sick and all that, yeah, being leprosy, yeah.
Right. So basically they as an analogy stoned him though as a punishment, because every time he quote unquote lie, he get a whooping. That's like being stoned. What the hell?
Yeah, think about it.
Well, only difference is
a lot of parents will punish their child however they see fit or whatever when that child lies. You know what I'm saying? Because you're breaking trust between a parent and a child. You're breaking that trust, and you're gonna need that trust. You're always gonna want that trust from your child. So I understand punishing your child, but not to that extreme. I think they should have.
Right.
I just think a lot of things should have went a different route, but that was their household. You
Right.
know.
No, but I was one when I was a child. I didn't like that shit. So
He was a compulsive liar, though, and I don't. But he needed therapy to figure out why.
No wonder he was a compulsive liar with these damn parents.
Oh, I know, but he needed therapy to figure out why. You know what I'm saying? Because when I was younger, like my older sister would beat me, and I remember because it started when I was 5, and I remember every time she beat me, she would always tell me that no one would believe me. And I remember when I was 10, I was tired of it, so I went and I tried to tell. No one believed me. So when that happened, because there was a lot of other stuff going on with that, like a lot of things she was saying, and when that happened, it sunk in that no one's ever going to believe me. I didn't start lying, but what I did was I stopped talking. And people asking, I stopped talking as far as like, people ask me about what happened. Well, I just figured no one would believe me, so there's no point of saying anything. Now, I'm saying all that to say that something traumatic in his life could have happened to where he felt the need to lie, or maybe he wanted to. How can I say this? Maybe he wanted to have his parents be proud of him for whatever reason, or wanted his parents to be happy with him, to where he felt he needed to lie to get their approval. You see what I'm saying? That could be why he was such a compulsive liar. But at the end of the day, I feel like he needed a real genuine sit down conversation with his parents, and not just one time. This needs to be an ongoing, so he can really feel that lying isn't what's up, because my thing is, like, I tell like my oldest, you start lying to me, how am I gonna know you being honest? Because you go out there, something happens, and then it comes back to me that you did X, Y, and Z, and I'm like, well, it's not in her character, but I don't know, because she's a liar. You know what I'm saying? So that's why trust to me is so important, because I need to know your character. So when it comes down time to me defending you, I need to know that I'm really defending you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so he needs counsel. He needs counseling. Whew. I don't know, Terry.
They fucked them children up. They fucked the child up, man. I'm just gonna be real about that shit. There's no other way I can say this. They fucked their children up. Seriously, all of them. The parents did their children a great disservice, though. You know what I'm saying? How the fuck he's gonna growing up? How the fuck he's gonna even trust the woman he's going to be with?
Right.
Damn.
We hadn't even got to the daddy part too.
Right.
Oh boy, man. I'm just like, this is insane.
For his behavior.
Did she indicate to you how long that he had been in the basement?
She said she wasn't exactly sure. It was maybe about 2 years or 18 months. When we talked about education, I asked specifically if the child was receiving any schooling. And Mrs. Wimbush said he was being taught ethics because that was what he needed to learn, and that he wasn't receiving any other kind of math or English or any kind of other schooling while he was there, since he violated the rules.
All right.
Mrs. Wimbush took me downstairs to the basement, and she showed me the room, and I could see there was a door, and there were holes in the door. It looked as if a lock had been removed. Then she called him out, and he came out, and I spoke with him. And then I observed the room, and I asked him if I could take pictures of him in the room, and he said I could, and so I took pictures. He said that he was disobedient, and that he deserved to be down there, and he was really hoping that he would be able to reintegrate into his family in October of that year, which was about 4 months later, because the family was having a Hebrew feast in October, and his mom told him that if he was really good, maybe he would be able to rejoin the family in October. And he was very hopeful because he wanted to see his siblings.
Ricardo Jr. is taken from the home, where forensic and psychological interviews are conducted.
I asked him where he wanted to go. He said he wanted to go to Burger King. And so I took him to Burger King and I asked him what he wanted, and he said he wanted a Whopper. So I got him the Whopper meal, and we went through the drive-thru, and I was driving him to his placement. And he ate that he ate every crumb of that meal, and he wouldn't speak while he was just eating. He seemed just really excited to have that meal, and he ate every crumb of that meal. And when we got in front of the building, there were 5 concrete steps that went up into the building, and he stopped, and he looked at the steps, and he really paused and thought for a little while. And then he held on to the rail and really made an effort to negotiate how to climb those 5 steps up into the building.
He told me that he had inappropriately touched 3 of his siblings, and his mother told him that his mother had made the decision to keep him away from his siblings as a result of that. I questioned him about whether he had in fact done that and what he remembered about that. He did not appear to have any recollection of ever having done anything like that, but it was something that he was told that he had done. Ricardo Wimbush Jr. absolutely wants to go back home to his parents. And sometimes when you speak with him, he would even be willing to go back to the basement and back to being locked in the basement to obtain that outcome.
He did have an evaluation subsequently about sexual interests, and there was nothing abnormal. The psychosexual evaluation was normal.
So he showed no deviance, no predisposition
Right.
to molestations whatsoever.
Correct. That he didn't, yes, that's correct. There was nothing later that suggested that he was at any risk for doing such things in the future, was really what it was for.
Okay, do sometimes smaller children engage in that activity without any sort of malicious intent?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, it's, when I was a kid, they called it playing doctor, and it was quite common and is, in fact, quite common still. 11, 12, 13.
Playing doctor.
No, playing doctor is like getting bumps on your face.
No.
What are you doing?
No,
Fingernails.
Playing doctor was, I want to check your heart. I want to check, your pulse. I want to. Yes, I played house. I played doctor too.
Okay, I guess I don't get it.
Basically, you're pretending to be doctor and a patient, though. You know what I'm saying?
Checking your heart.
Like, they have these little toy stethoscopes.
Stethoscopes, yeah.
That's playing doctor.
So what does that have to do with sexual?
It's one of those exploratory exercises, or whatever the fuck they call it.
So you get butt naked? You get naked?
No, not naked. Like, like how kids touch each other, they're exploring. Well, that's what they call it, though. I never did no bullshit like that. But,
Did you do that?
What, exploring?
If that's what you want to call it. When you were a kid, did you play doctor? Did you play doctor, Terry?
I don't even remember, though, to be honest with you. But
were you the doctor or the patient, Terry?
I don't remember. That's what I'm saying. I don't remember. It's basically like, you ever heard the game Hide and Go Get It?
I've heard of it, but I never.
It is what it sounds like. Hide and go get it.
Go to bed. Put this on. Go to bed. Go to your bed, or go lay down on the couch.
Basically, it's like hide and go get it. The girls hide, and the boys go out trying to find the girls, and it's always
That's so weird.
But these are the games that was played as kids, though. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know.
I mean, that was kids. You know what I'm saying? They did that shit.
Who came up with these games? It's
you have to. Yeah, it's like so far back, it's pitiful. It's back in the BC days, that's how far back it goes,
Okay.
Yeah, the Roman Empire days. Them shits.
Oh, good gracious! I don't know.
The Kinetic Empire, the Greek Empire. Yeah, it goes that deep, that deep far, man.
I'm sure it went that deep.
It was no serious. Remember, even the Bible says there's nothing to do under the sun.
Yeah, I know.
Not a thing is new. So they was doing that shit back in the day. They was doing that shit when I was a little kid. They was doing that shit back in the 1800s, 1700s. Yeah, it goes far back.
How you know it went all the way back, Terry?
I told you I love information no matter where it comes from.
Okay, Terry. I don't know. Please, Terry.
All you gotta do is look this shit up yourself, though. You know what I'm saying?
My goodness.
I'm telling you, these were children. These were. Yeah, they was playing these games in Houston too. Shit.
I'm sure they were. Ain't no one high and go get nothing on my end.
Are critical times in adolescent development. Early adolescence is the time when kids normally are getting a sense of who they are. They're starting to feel more separate from their family. They're pursuing their own interests. They're shifting a lot of their emotional energy to relationships with peers. So all of that he couldn't do.
in the future, doctor, will his relationships and his happiness be affected by what happened during this vital time in his life?
In my opinion, absolutely, yes.
No other questions?
You said Ricardo doesn't ask for things. Could that be related to a sense of pride in that one does not want to
Here
ask
she go.
for things?
It could be, but I didn't think it was with him. With him, it seemed more an inhibition
Yeah.
rather than a sort of, I can do it myself kind of attitude.
If I told you, or if you knew, that Ricardo didn't like to ask for things and even almost drowned because he didn't want to ask for help, prior to all of these instances, would that change your thoughts about it being inhibitive?
Probably not.
Probably not. Okay.
Dr. Ash, so if, for instance, a child, say, inappropriately touches their sibling and then they're told that's not the right thing to do, and then they do it again, then what would be your recommendation?
Well, it's still a matter of you have to evaluate the child and see if you can understand what's going on from the child's point of view. What are they thinking about when they're
Time
doing
out.
it?
Time out.
What?
Time out.
What?
What is she doing? What is that on her face? The blonde.
Oh, that's she's a translator.
You mean the ones that the transcript?
Yeah, she's a transcription, but
Oh,
she's
so
also
she's talking. She's talking.
she's talking into the
It bothered me the whole time. I was like, "What is she doing?"
yeah,
Oh,
she's a translator.
At first, I thought it was a mask, and I was like, "Well, her nose not even covered." So what is? And then okay.
Yeah,
So she's
this
talking, and that's a
yeah,
laptop.
she's
okay.
yeah. But she's
Wow,
also she's
they
also
got fancy.
right, but she's also translating to in another language as well.
How? Why?
Because there's other people that's attached to this case that's overseas, over like Canada or something like that.
Why?
Or,
Canada speaks English.
not everybody.
Why would I be associated with this case?
I don't know. Maybe it's like for law.
Maybe
law
it's just a
schools.
transcript. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it's one of the transcripts though. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
What?
Because people do these cases are published in the
Yeah, but normally, so she's probably because normally they sit there.
yeah,
So maybe this is updated. She's talking into it because she can talk into it now.
yeah,
Maybe I thought it was a mask, and I was like, "What?" And then now, okay, I think that's
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, there's a translation that do talk because you know sometimes they got carpal tunnel or bad arthritis or some shit like that. I mean, that's why I bought this.
I get what you're saying.
That's why I bought this. Sometimes my hands hurt, and I have to talk.
Mine, I do that too if I write too much.
Is mean, and then once you have that information, then you're in a position to say, okay, well, the way to manage it is whatever.
And then if they continuously do that, then what?
Well, if they're actually molesting other children, you have to have an intervention that protects the other child. But what that is highly variable depending on the nature of the situations. I mean,
If that were all true, is the appropriate intervention ever to lock them in a room for 18 months?
no.
No other questions?
Shortly after these evaluations are complete, an arrest warrant is put out for both parents, and they turn themselves in into law enforcement. All 10 children are placed into foster care, and they have zero contact with their parents for the 31 months up until this trial. There is an opinion that says the reason that the parents chose to represent themselves in court and reject public attorneys was so that they could have communication with their children. If I am to entertain this opinion, the evidence to support it is most prominent during the mother's examination of her children during their testimonies.
Hey, Gracie. Hey, Mr. Jeremiah. Your man who? How are you?
Good.
Good. And you're doing good in school?
Yeah.
And school is good?
Yeah.
And everything is good?
Yeah.
The judge is not.
You see that look she
The
gave me?
judge is annoyed. She's like,
That's
"Who?
that's what-
What?"
That's what I'm saying though. They should not allow that, man. You notice this is a manipulation tactic right here. She uses personal names of their relationship and say, "Hi, sweetie. Hey, crazy. Hey, beautiful."
But she's a mother. Still,
right,
she's a mother. And
she
still have that loving with them. I understand where you come from.
Okay.
But it's like it could be a thin line. She could be doing it genuinely too, because you got to think about the kids. Yeah, what they say is gonna, play a strong hold on her future. But too, she knows probably this is probably the last time for a while that she'll be able to, whatever. And then for them to have a positive look for before she leaves is important for the kids too. I'm saying because they're young, they really don't understand what's going on.
Understandable. But they now know that she was close to these people, close to their children, because Sympathetic Matters.
Yeah, she was.
Let's see, what was that?
The girl who had those renal lines or memorized.
Yeah, it was inappropriate contact. What? I'm sorry. What? What 6-year-old or whatever her age is, that's under 10. How do you know those words? How do you know those words? I mean,
that girl was coached.
Mm-hmm. Now I can see if it's in the 2nd grade or 3rd grade, you probably would know those words, unless you were like me at 1st grade. I was reading at a 9th grade level, but still. But
yeah,
just saying.
Oh boy.
Do you remember which one of your siblings at home, when you were at home, which one of your siblings used to get in trouble a lot?
I don't know.
You don't know? Did you get in trouble a lot? Hey, love, how are you doing?
Good.
Good. Where's your playmat? Hello, Miss Hope.
Hi, Mommy.
How are you doing?
Good.
Good. How's school going?
Okay.
Okay, what does okay mean?
I'm sorry. I just gotta say this. I'm sitting here thinking about this. I just gotta say this, man. I know my girl's bad, but every time she smiles, you know what it reminds me of?
Oh goodness. What?
You ever see that movie Tales from the Hood?
Terry.
I'm sorry. This ain't no funeral home. This ain't the diner. Welcome to hell, motherfucker.
She is so beautiful. So mean.
I just had to say that though. I just had to say. I mean, she's a pretty girl, but every time
she's very beautiful.
She's a pretty girl, but every time she does her mouth like that, that's what it's reminding me.
When she smiled?
No. When she smiled, she had that cricket around her.
Oh my goodness. Gracious.
I'm like, please. You're a pretty girl. Just don't smile like that, man. Don't. Stop it. Stop it. Otherwise, I have to roast you over it. Roast you. I'm telling you, that's what she looked like, though, for real.
Goodness, Terry.
I'm sorry.
Push play.
I'm pushing play.
I got 1 C.
You got a C? Were you disappointed about that?
Okay.
Know how that feels. Hey, Isaiah.
Hi.
Hi. Are you okay? You need some water?
No.
A day after being taken from their parents' custody, a large lump is discovered on the abdomen of the child that now sits on the stand to testify. Isaiah tells the court that whilst he was under the care of his parents, he had told them and his siblings many times about this large bump that bothered him very much. He states that he was never taken to a doctor or a medical expert to investigate what it may be. The parents claim that the bump wasn't large at all when the child was living under their care, and seem very surprised at their son's testimony. This confusion can be most prominently seen on Therian's face, as her husband questions the boy about the size of it.
Could you describe it with your hands?
Like this?
Then she do it again. She do it again.
She's smiling.
She do it again, man. I'm like,
she is smiling.
I don't know, man. There's something about that smile don't look right to me, though. I'm just saying, there's something about that smile.
She's seeing her husband interact with their kids. She's happy.
No, I mean, I'm just saying. I understand all that, but she could have done this outside the courthouse.
Actually, no, she couldn't. She's kind of locked up right now. So.
No, I mean, before all this shit happened, she
probably was.
Well, we heard. God damn it. But there, it's just that smile. There's something wrong with that smile.
Oh my goodness!
And I'm not talking about the gap or anything like that.
I know.
I'm speaking on a spiritual sense. Like, there's something wrong about that smile, though, man. I don't trust that smile.
Trust it.
That smile has some behind the scene things going on down there.
Goodness. Let's find out.
Can you lift your hands up a little bit higher so we can see, Isaiah? Lift them up high. All right, thank you.
Going across your abdomen. Going across your stomach.
When you were at home, did you throw up?
Yes.
When do you remember throwing up at home?
7. When I was 7.
Do you remember being sick at home?
Yes.
And how were you sick?
I just kept on throwing up.
You threw up at home? Okay. Did you throw up in your bed, or where'd you throw up?
In the bathroom.
Okay. Do you remember Mommy asking you about that bump on your tummy?
No.
Do you remember Mommy let me change my question. Do you remember Mommy asking you if that bump bothers you?
Yes.
Do you remember Mommy asking you if the bump hurt you?
No.
Do you remember when you took a bath that Mommy always asked you about, does this bump bother you?
No.
You don't remember?
Wait a minute.
They should have been taken to the doctor.
Wait a minute.
He should have. Oh my goodness.
Wait a minute. First they said, well, we didn't notice the bump there. Now they're saying they saw the bump.
Well, I think they said they didn't know that it was that large. That's what I heard. Maybe.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm.
Yeah, that's what I heard. That they didn't know. They weren't aware of the size. But still, for something being a foreign object being on your child's body or your own body for a length of time, at some point you need to go get it checked out. Right. It shouldn't go on too long. That shouldn't go. Like if it's a bump, I don't know if it's a regular like a bump, a pimple. I highly doubt it when there is a, okay, that's normal. But as a like if it looks like a lump, and I understand them not wanting to go to the doctor on every little thing, because I'm the same way, because as a Black family or like me, I know from personal experience, these people are quick to call on you for stupid stuff, or, I mean, I've never had CPS in my life, but I know that, I've been questioned simply because I'm looking out for the welfare of my child, and then it's like a lot of times the doctors they don't care, or they don't trust you. I've had times where, for example, Naira, when she was young, I kept saying, things. I took her to, I can't even count how many doctors, at least between 15 and 20 doctors. All because her ears, she couldn't hear. I was like, my daughter's not hearing, she can't hear. She's going, I was like, she's going deaf. I've had doctors telling me that I'm making it up, I'm crazy, or I'm not a doctor, I didn't know what I was talking about, or if I bring her in again, they're going to call CPS, or because but kind of find out, or no, they kept saying it was allergies and stuff like that too. Come to find out, when I demanded to see a specialist, because it got to the point she went completely deaf in both ears, I demanded to see a therapist. I'm not therapist, I demanded to see a specialist. I went to the specialist, he was like, any doctor should have had you come in to have surgery. He was like, there's no medication in the world, she needs surgery now. And I told him at that point she was 4. She's been dealing with that issue since birth. for 4 years, so it's like I understand not wanting to go to the doctor, but at least make the attempt. You know what I'm saying? To where if something like this happens, it doesn't fall on you, it falls on the doctors being neglectful, and so yeah.
I'm
But they should
sorry.
have took their child to the doctor.
Well, I'm sorry. I would have had to sue that doctor or stuff because of you was negligent like a motherfucker. And it's not even about. It was not even about the money though.
It wasn't even for Naira's situation. Is that what you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about
that it wasn't even just one doctor. No, I literally took her from doctor to doctor to doctor, and I did the same thing with me. That's what I'm saying. Like when it comes down to us going to the doctors, they look at us as we're a joke. With me, I'm vitamin D deficient, and I didn't know this. It's to the point to where I have symptoms of someone with RA and someone who has lupus.
Right.
I went to again, I can't count and tell you, I went to different doctors for about like 2 years straight. Continue. Like every time they'll say nothing's wrong with you. They'll do all this tests and everything, blood work. Doctors again told me to my face that I'm making it up in my head. I even had to a point to one doctor saw my hands it went from my pinky all the way to my thumb. Each finger, I was sitting there and I was like, yeah, my fingers, they'll just swell up and they'll hurt. I was like, matter of fact, I was like, he's doing it now. She sat there and saw each finger swell up. Test results came back negative. But see, the thing is, she went behind my back and tested for HIV, which I'm like, you can test me for that, that's fine, but don't say you're testing for one thing and then go ahead and test for this, or whatever. So anyway, she tested. So rather than her testing she was supposed to test for lupus and RA. Rather than her testing for lupus, she tested for HIV. And then everything came back negative. And I was like, and I said, well, I'm not understanding if, what's going on with me. And I was like, she said, oh, you're making it up in your head. And I had to, because we'll just be an email or whatever, message. I messaged her back. I was like, there's no way I can make it up in my head when you saw yourself. My fingers are swelling up. That doesn't make sense. It's because I'm vitamin D deficient. I'm vitamin D and B12. And at that point, I was in critical to where she should have sent me to the hospital. And so, and again, I went 2 years bouncing from doctor to doctor to doctor because no one wanted to take me seriously. So, but in their case, they should have went to the doctor. But yeah, I understand not wanting to go because it's just so hard to find a doctor who cares. It's so hard to find a doctor who would try to understand. So I get not wanting to go, but when it comes down, especially to your child having a lump, I would have took my baby to the hospital, or not to the hospital, to the doctor, made an appointment, checked it out, And even with Naira, she has scoliosis. It's funny. She had a checkup, a regular routine checkup. They did the scoliosis check and everything. 2 days after that checkup, I looked at her back and I saw, just looking at her back, I was like, this girl got scoliosis. And I just by looking at her standing up straight up, because her shoulders were like that. And I was like, this girl got scoliosis. I said, turn around. This is when she was 6. I said, turn around. She turned around. You can tell I saw it. And I had her bend over. I did scoliosis. You can see it. And I'm like, these doctors just checked her 2 days ago. You know what I'm saying? This didn't just happen overnight.
Right.
As curved. And then when I went to take her to the doctor, they was like, yeah, it's curved. Then they, when I took her to the specialist, it was like, who discovered it? And I said, I did. It was like, the doctor did. And I was like, no, she just had her physical. He was like, I don't understand how they couldn't see this. And I was like, because they don't care. So, and it's like when it comes down, but at the same time, you have to fight and be an advocate for your kids. Right. So she should have that. That's them. That's on them neglecting their kid with that part. If they haven't taken, I don't care if it's a little bump. I don't care. But if it's been there for too long and haven't tried to go down, they should have taken their kids to the doctor so they can play down. Right. That's on their fault.
Yeah. But the way they're talking, they're definitely not. They're definitely playing because.
Yeah, they are.
Your vernacular is a little impeccable for you to be a sociopath.
They are playing.
But then again, some of the most intelligent motherfuckers are narcissists. Well, the most motherfuckers who think they're intelligent are narcissists and shit. Though I'm saying? So, because they know, seriously, they think they know every motherfucking thing, but don't know shit.
Oh, no.
Been a long time. Do you remember scratching like this?
Yes.
And what side was the bump on when you were at home? Was it on both sides or just one side?
Both.
It was on both sides?
Can you answer out loud for me, Isaiah, please?
Yes.
Using your tummy, how big this was? Was it just over here or just over here? Or was it all the way across?
All the way across.
It was all the way across?
Wait a minute, there was something wrong with her kidneys.
No, she said all the way across. It wasn't just on the sides. It was all the way across.
No, what I'm saying is, Kitty, if something's wrong with you, it can actually go across your abdomen, your sides, and everything.
That's crazy.
Yeah, probably something wrong with her kidneys.
I think they said something about cancerous, but I don't know. Maybe I misheard, but I don't know. But they should have take that baby to the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Can you give me your answer out loud, please, Isaiah?
The bump is an abdominal tumor caused by a very rare form of skin cancer and had been growing for many years. The medical expert who examined Isaiah would go on to say that this tumor was the most extensive that he had ever seen, and if treated earlier, would have been a very simple surgery with an almost 100% rate of success after the first operation. Because it was left so late, it was going to take multiple surgeries now to remove, and even with treatment, has the possibility to take the boy's life. This leads us into the closing arguments, and the legally inexperienced, self-representing parents would have an opportunity to present first.
Dr. Ash could not identify a diagnosis with any medical certainty that Ricardo Jr. has suffered mental pain due to an alleged lack of mental stimulation and social interaction, as in fact he received both daily from his parents. I'll call this reasonable doubt for counts 1 and 3. I hope I haven't put you to sleep, because now I'd like to ask you not only for a verdict of, let me get it right this time, not guilty, but that you let Yas people go so that they serve him. I assert that we are not guilty of all 7 counts of this indictment. So please, I request of you that you let Yas people go. Thank you.
Throughout the
And the neglect, definitely they neglect, I would say abuse because of the older boy. And false imprisonment. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't even know what all she's being charged with.
You know, me either.
I feel like she may have been like the leader behind it, ringleader behind it, or the voice behind it. And the father, he doesn't seem too active in this. I mean, I've seen him get up, but I feel like she's the Bigfoot in the game. She's the one who's doing it.
She is, because most of the time, you notice women are the discipliners with the children, though, you know what I'm saying? And in this case, I don't know what the hell she was thinking, but there's other ways of, I mean, like I said, if I had children, I'm not gonna whoop them. I don't say go pick a switch, because that's who the fuck is really stupid enough to pick their own ass whooping.
Well, but back in the day, we ain't never did it, but I've heard or saw people.
Yeah, I never really. Well, yeah, I did. I ain't gonna lie. Shit, I was 6 years old. They told me, go pick me a switch, and I picked the most thinnest, weakest one I could find.
Hey, gotta go back out there and get you another one. Don't let the people pick it themselves.
I was like, look, I ain't going outside. This is what you gotta use, man. Take it or leave it. You know what I'm saying?
What in the world happened? Let me see. Let me see it. I'm not gonna touch it. What happened? What happened? Tell me. I see. What happened?
The case, the inexperience of the defendant was rather obvious, as they fumbled with objections and had trouble with relevant questioning. Their closing statements really highlighted this inexperience with a short and unfocused presentation to the jury that didn't really say much other than, we aren't guilty because we aren't guilty. This case would have been a pretty difficult one for even an experienced defense attorney, and watching the prosecution present a scathing closing argument, juxtaposed against the defense's rambling mess, is quite a sight to see.
He suffered muscle atrophy that caused him pain. He suffered bone disease. He suffered a fungus growing on his skin because he did not shower or bathe for months and was never even given clean clothes. He suffered mental pain, and that's proven beyond a reasonable doubt. Sadness, loneliness, extreme boredom is painful. In the future, he will suffer mental pain because of what these defendants did. He will struggle with relationships. Who takes a 12-year-old son and puts them in that position without malice? Who changes their life so dramatically in such a short period of time that you don't know it, that you don't know what you're doing, that you don't know the likely outcome of what you're doing to that child? This was his life. That's it. You see his entire life for months on that screen. He had nothing else. Pride. Let's talk about the words that she put on his wall. Pretentious? Who's pretentious? There's pretentious. There's, I've got all the answers, and I can do what I want with my children. That's pretentious. Putrid? Putting your child in an environment where fungus grows on the skin is sickening, and it's putrid. Ruin 2 of their children's lives. Ignorance. They want to tell you how smart they are. And they did tell you all about their degrees, and they're ignorant. How are they ignorant? Ricardo was in a swimming pool on the shallow end, and he, like all kids, are growing up. And guess what? He, like the best of us, don't want to spend our lives in the shallow end. We grow in the swimming pool of life when we go to the deep end. That's how we all grow. If we didn't do that, we would all still be 12. But Ricardo made a mistake because she said, "You want me to help you on the deep end?" And he said, "No." What's the one thing you never do in that house? Tell Mom no. He told her he didn't need any help. And he tried it on his own, and guess what? Like all of us, sometimes it works for us, and sometimes stepping out doesn't. So yeah, she needed to save him, but she was mad at him and called it prideful that he was trying to develop himself further. And that is such a key story here. The key story is that they are under her thumb, and they can't do anything without her. That's what life in that house was like. Exile. Who exiles their own child? Only evil does that. Only evil, not Ricardo. Only evil does that. These are her words, but they don't apply to Ricardo. They apply to her. He was 12. Those are his parents. Who convinced him that he deserved to rot in a blue small prison cell for months? Who convinced him that that was right? The only people that ever communicated with him convinced him that that's the right thing to do to a 12-year-old, and they're blaming it on him. Defendants want to try to convince you that this was a happy home. And it's a happy home if you ignore somebody dying of cancer. And it's a happy home as long as you don't talk about the pink elephant in the room. And nobody talked about the pink elephant in the room. Only it wasn't a pink elephant. It was a 12-year-old stuck in a blue room. So as long as everybody ignored that, it was a happy home. And that's what they taught their children to live home life like. Ricardo and Isaiah will pay the price for the rest of their lives in one form or another. There's only one verdict that will speak the truth. Guilty on all charges.
You know what? He was actually speaking facts, though, man.
But what are the charges?
I think they tell him at the end or something like that because they didn't do it in the beginning. But to me, all the evidence and everything else and the manipulation and that smile, it's that smile. The smile has some different
vibes.
Different vibes, man. That smile, there's something behind that smile, man. That smile just ugh. That smiling like a motherfucking snake who had teeth. I swear, man. That smile is it's a different vibe, man. That smile is just if she didn't have that vibe, the smile would be beautiful, but just that smile, just that that's around you, and the fact that you have a shadow on you, though, man.
Well, you gotta also think too, like you said earlier, it does seem like she is a narcissist. It does, and you gotta understand like their controlling mechanisms of how they control. Maybe that smile was, and then on top of that, she's losing that control. That's what it is too. She doesn't know how to handle it. A lot of narcissists don't know how to handle when they lose control. Right. And she can't act out. She's in a court setting. She's trying to win, so she has to figure out how to maintain control while losing control.
Right, exactly. Every businessman go through it though, you know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
If you think about the businesses that got cut, closed down, you can tell they're going through some things though, because I know, especially Papa John, so he's not even in control of his own damn company.
I think he sold it because of what he did.
Yeah, it's because of what he did. But he didn't really, I see what he didn't really say anything that was, I mean, that's the thing. But yeah, how dare you take his company down, man? I don't care. Look, I know what a nigga is, and I know that's not what I am. So shit, you wasn't talking to me. So shit, you wasn't talking to me. I ain't no nigga. I never have been, never will be. Shit.
He knew what he meant when he said it. He didn't mean it by what you're saying it as. He meant what.
But that's why this man lost there all his fucking business, all his companies and shit, though. You know what I'm saying?
Careful what you say.
But fuck him. He did it to himself, though. You know what I'm saying? Fuck him. Shit, he did it to himself. Was spoke in private don't need to be publicized, you stupid motherfucker. What I mean is, you can say whatever the fuck you want privately, just don't break your privacy.
I'm glad it happened because I don't like shopping or spending money where people don't want me there anyway. And there's plenty of places I refuse to go to. They have things I need, like, if I'm not wanted there, or if you're gonna follow me around the whole store, I don't need to be here spending my money just so you can follow me around the whole store when I literally came in with minimum.
Right.
Just so you don't have to follow me. I don't like being followed. That's uncomfortable, or being treated badly. You know what I'm saying? Like by a staff because the color of my skin. If you don't want me there, let me know.
But
I don't have to shop here.
But unfortunately, there's some stupid motherfuckers in our community. I'm just gonna be real about that shit. Because I still see black motherfuckers walking around with Michael Kors clothes and purses and all this other shit. And the motherfucker was pretty saying that he does not want people that's not to shop in this front. It probably been a rumor, but I don't know.
Someone said it was someone thing was a rumor. Oh, Tommy Hilfiger.
I'm like, dude, how the hell? I got a question though, because I knew that was bullshit when I started. I was like, I'm like, wait a minute, hold on, motherfucker. How the fuck Tommy Hilfiger don't like niggas, but most of his niggas is part of his advertising?
Yeah, I was young when that came out, and I was like, what?
I'm like, nah.
And then we didn't have the internet the way we do, so you couldn't fact check anything as quickly and as easily. And then I was young.
Right.
When I heard it, I was young, and I didn't buy it. I mean, I didn't get it.
I mean,
you know,
truthfully, I didn't buy Tommy Hilfiger anyway.
I wasn't a fan of him anyway, so.
And his shit was too expensive anyway. His shit was too expensive though. You know
we could have got it, but it wasn't a fan of his.
Right. I mean, the only thing I had with Tommy Hilfiger was a T-shirt. It cost $20. A T-shirt. I'm like, hell no, I ain't buying this bullshit. I ain't walking around this shit. It's too damn expensive.
Both parents are found guilty on 3 of the 7 charges of child abuse and are sentenced to 20 years in prison each, with another 10 on probation. During the sentencing of the 2, the judge had some final words to say which really struck a chord with me.
There is not a parent in this room, there is not a parent in this world that is perfect. But as parents, we need to tread lightly with the responsibility that we have. What has been a key theme throughout the evidence in the trial of this case is what is reasonable and what is not reasonable. And being entrusted with that precious gift of being a parent, having life experience, financial resources, the educational background that each of you have, that light bulb never came on for you as to where that line of reasonableness should have been drawn. And you far exceeded anything that could possibly be considered reasonable in your treatment. Children have an uncanny ability to be resilient, to be malleable, to be adaptable, and that's even more heartbreaking in this case because your oldest child adapted to those unreasonable, inhumane, and unlawful circumstances that were imposed on him. Children have a gift that is an uncanny gift for unconditional love and forgiveness. Yet you came to the decision that your child did not deserve forgiveness for taking food, a book, a DVD player. For that, he no longer deserved to be forgiven by his parents. It's incomprehensible. The sentence that I'm going to impose is going to be the same sentence for each defendant.
It baffles me that academics such as these 2, who attained high levels of education, would engage in behavior such as this. In a court hearing prior to the trial, Thurian claims that she chose to have a miscarriage at home with no medical care, and that some of her children had witnessed this lifeless child being born. They all named the child Daniel, and he was buried in their backyard, although Thurian states that none of her children had helped with the burial. In addition to this, the Wimbushes wrote a letter to the DA office a few months before trial. The letter had asked the charges to all be dropped, and also requested $500 million in restitutionary redress. After the sentencing, the parents are not allowed to have any contact with the children.
You see what I mean? I'm like, tell me you're a narcissist without telling me you're a narcissist. How's she gonna sue them? All the evidence is right there, you know, like what are you doing? You're not gonna win. What are you doing?
And that's so dangerous for her to have a miscarriage and not go to the doctor.
Right, I'm saying, dude, she knows about her mental deficiencies, but she's not doing anything about it. You know, she meets all six common traits of a toxic person. Seriously, she do.
Which are they?
She do.
What are they? What are they? I don't know what it is. I don't know what they are.
Oh, envy, green eye, jealousy, narcissism, 3 others. I forget the other 3. Shit. It'll come to me later though. But there's 6 traits of toxicity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's crazy. Oh, the liar, the imaginer, or some. I'm probably getting it wrong, but and
it'll come to you later.
Yeah, it'll come.
until they are 21, and that contact must be initiated by the children. Ricardo Sr. regrets his actions and has said in an interview that he loves each of his children more than any.
Oh, he's the most hurt. He's the most hurt.
Yeah.
Well, out of them two, he's the most hurt.
Yeah, look at him. She stressed him out so much, he's losing his hair. I'm sorry, I had to do that. No, seriously, he is losing his hair though, because of her.
It could be his natural hairline.
Yeah, you're right. He is natural hairline. I'm just trying to be optimistic, you know.
Really?
Anything, and that he accepts responsibility for the harm he caused. He hopes that one day he can be reunited with them all. He disclosed that he could have taken a plea deal to testify against his wife, but he chose not to. He said that they're both partners in parenting, that they are a team, and even though she called the majority of the shots, he could have put a stop to it at any time. I have many personal thoughts and opinions on this case, far too many to summarize into the ending here, but I will try capture the ones that sit at the front of my mind in this moment. Most of my thoughts do relate to the mother Therian, likely because she did most of the questioning and talking throughout the trial, and her husband was more of a silent supporter in the background. In my opinion, Therian has a lot of issues with control. I'm not one to claim that another is a narcissist, but she did exhibit traits of it. A point of interest that stood out to me was that in her first 2 days of court, she wore a prison outfit to trial, and her hair wasn't done. She looked like a prisoner, and she questioned her tortured son, Ricardo Jr., in a way that I couldn't help but to feel she was trying to punish him some more, to show him, look what you have done to us. Look what you have done to the family. And the next day, when
she was good. She was almost good. She was almost
good.
good.
Real good. That was a good point.
Mm-hmm.
I saw it, noticed it, but I didn't pick up on it.
I mean, she was. I picked up on it. Like, she's good though, because wait, why are you dressed so nice in this other? Where you say, "Look at me! Look what you have done." It's because
I didn't know that was by choice.
Oh yeah, that's my choice. She chose to wear that. You know, it's because after the other day, she was sharing her street clothes though. You know what I'm saying?
He's good.
And she almost got away with it. She almost got away with it if it wasn't for those pesky kids.
So silly.
When Ricardo Jr. was no longer to be on stand, she was dressed up in smart attire. No more prison outfit. No more image of suffering. It is a small nitpick, but it did stand out to me. Another point that stood out was Therian's face as she told Ricardo Jr. that she loved him.
That's all I have. Thank you so much. I love you, handsome.
She's looking down as she says it, and doesn't look back to him throughout her words, nor does she wait for his response before she leaves. He says that he loves her back, but she didn't wait around for him to say it. This was not the same treatment that she gave her other children. I can't help but to feel as though she despises Ricardo Jr., and this comes through with her saying that he doesn't.
Did you get what I was saying though?
Yeah.
Man, you could tell she was because you're doing all this like Stevie Wonder without the glasses and all this thing, you know what I'm saying? And she closing her eyes, not really giving him directly contact. He always I just called to say I love you type shit. She doing all this.
I actually like that song.
Side, I'm yours. Look at that.
Oh boy.
Moncherie, jungle fever. She got jungle fever. You know what I'm saying? That's what the fuck she was looking like.
Oh goodness.
Look at that. Oh. Look at that. Oh.
Barry,
Charles Ray, look at that. Charles Ray, look at that. Ray Charles. Tell your pa. Tell your pa. Tell your other song. Yeah.
Barry.
Yeah.
Deserve forgiveness. The window being spray painted over. Everything she did was to torture him. I can't begin to even comprehend why a mother would feel so much hate towards their own son. To me it looks like she just said that she loved him for the jury, and quickly moved away to show him that he meant nothing to her. I do agree with the prosecutor's closing statements, that she needed control over this family, and to have a son that wasn't under her control would have driven her insane. What does one do with that? You lock him in the basement until he learns to be controlled. It's despicable. It also seemed as though she was more focused on showing the jury what a loving mother.
Wait a minute. That's the same thing pimps do. You heard of you ever heard of a term called Georgia? Getting Georgia? You never heard that term? All right, basically, getting Georgia is this: you pick up a new girl, you bring her around, you wine and dine her, you feed her with every kinds of drugs that she want, and then you slip her a couple of drugs that she don't want though. You keep her out, keep her up for 48 hours, and then you be the first one to taste the peach of the Georgia. Basically, you're fucking her before anybody else. Anybody else can get to it.
What is all the drugs? Well, I guess. Okay.
No, that's the way she doing her children like a pimp would have did to break a new woman. These are some of the tactics they use.
But locking them in a room, I'm not making a connection.
All right, they lock them in a room. They feed them all kinds of drugs. They take them out that room, wine and diner like we know with jewels and like dinners and fancy restaurants and all this, and say, "Whoa, this is a nice guy. He's wine and dine me, this, that, and the other." And then,
okay, go ahead. Let me hear. Let me hear you.
All right, how can I put this?
No, go ahead. Finish saying what you're saying.
Well, someone don't lock him in a room or anything like that, but these are the tactics. Some of these, what she was doing to her children, is some of the tactics a pimp used to break a new woman, though. You know what I'm saying?
But I guess I'm confused of what tactics.
Like basically.
Like what? Like from the older one or for the younger one?
The older one.
Okay, so what?
Okay.
Give me an example of what she did.
All right, basically to break a breaking disrespect a disrespectful person is like this. Okay, you disrespect me for the last time. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to isolate you from everybody else. Okay, then I'm going to put you here so you will learn your so-called lesson of obedience. Okay. Then in this case, lock in a room, only feed them once or twice a day, or sometimes none at all.
How do you know these? How do you know all this?
Well, I watch a lot of movies.
Watch movies?
Yeah, watch a lot of movies.
Are they documentaries or?
Some of them, yes.
Some of them, like what documentary?
Pimps Up, Hoes Down. And
that is not a document. Is that let me look. Is that a documentary?
Yeah, it's from the it's from the series Pimp Up, Hoes Down. It's from the series of from the same.
Who was it from?
It's from the same people who made Hookers at a Point.
I've never seen that. I've never heard of it.
Oh my god, you're such an L7.
I am a square, but I was once caught up in that in sex trafficking, and they had their ways. They had their ways of because I was a new girl, know.
Now,
And
sex traffickers are a whole different ball game with whole different ball game.
It's the same thing when pimp.
But it's a whole different. It's like pimping times 5 type shit, though. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's really what it's basically the same. It's pimp because you have. It's basically the same.
Well, in a way, yeah.
Because you still got your pimp. You still have your. Now you have one. I mean, you have. You got all the ingredients there.
I mean, some of them have what they call bottom bitches. They go all over the other bitches. They like the main.
Yes.
Yeah. I know all about that too. You know what I'm saying?
But how?
Documentaries, movies.
What was the name of that documentary series? I want to watch it.
Hoes, Pimps Up, Hoes Down, American Pimp.
I hate that title, but okay.
Well,
you didn't make it. You didn't make it, but right. I hate that title.
A movie called The Mac. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on, let me look up the first one.
You might have to pay for the Mac though. But
this doesn't look like a document. Is it a doc? Oh, it is a documentary.
No, it's a movie. No, yeah.
It says documentary made in 1999. Isn't it? But it looks like it's a. Is it a real?
Yeah.
The
There's a
director's
real
cut?
pimp. Yeah, there's a real pimp.
I don't-
hoe.
This looks so trashy. Okay, what was the other one?
American Pimp.
That's gracious. Hold on, this is not getting off my screen. Okay, let me hit this. Get off my screen. It's not getting off my screen. Okay, American.
You know how far Pippin been pimping?
Terry, yes, I know. Wait, that's not Valentine's.
It's the second oldest profession.
It's an indie film.
Yeah.
But it's a documentary. Let me look at this.
Oh, and this book called this book by what's his name?
Nicholas.
Oh, Iceberg Slim. That's his name. Iceberg Slim. He had a book out too, though. It gave like the breakdown of Pippin and everything, though. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
I read it though a couple times, but you know.
That's crazy. It's horrible.
And plus, it doesn't hurt to have a couple of people who was in that lifestyle. But
what? Do you know people who were in that who were in the pimps? Do you know any of them?
The pimps and the hoes.
So you know, don't call them that because
that's what
some of them. No,
well,
I don't care. I don't care if anyone else say that. Don't because for one, stop, Ellie. For one, because some of them are not trying to be in that lifestyle.
Right.
Like me, I was not. I did not want to be there. But I immediately got that labeled. And if they had a bust, I would have had a prostitutes in charge on me because I was forced to do something I did not want to do.
Right.
And then so by me being forced to do something I did not want to do, I was automatically labeled as someone who I was not trying to be. I was tricked into that lifestyle, and I couldn't get. I'm not gonna say I couldn't get out, but it was difficult to get. I only got out by the grace of God. I put it like that,
right?
Because I literally ran away, and I literally had to go get my child because they were gonna take her for payment. So, like, that's why, like, even like with the name.
Well, here's the thing, though. I didn't use that. I just used that name as a reference, not as in calling them.
Well, even as a reference, it's still bad.
But it's a reference, though.
That's still bad. That's just like calling me. Like, let's just say, if I was in that lifestyle, you would have called me a hoe. You see what I'm saying? And I was not doing it willingly.
Right. But
do you see my point?
I get your point. Well, I do apologize for that one. But
no, you ain't got to apologize. This is not to make you feel bad or harm. It's just to open your eyes. So where, like, I don't think, stop, Ellie, because you're saying that's just like a slave and master type thing. The master, you're giving him the highlight and the glory of being the master. That's the same pimp. You're giving him the glory and the highlight of being a pimp. Then you have the slave who the what you would call a hoe. They are slaves. You see what I'm saying? And then calling them a hoe, but calling them a hoe, people automatically look at them. Oh, they just a hoe, so it doesn't matter. You know, and so people will look at that like that. And not realizing, not half of the girls don't want to be there. Some of them I've seen, they willingly want to do it, but I really think they're brainwashed and conditioned. Because they were brainwashed and conditioned.
Right. But actually, the ones I met didn't have. I mean, I know people who pimped. I knew people who, but for the better term of hoe. But however, these women didn't have a pimp. They voluntarily did that because they made.
That's different.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
No, but you said pimps. If they don't have anyone to pimp them out, then they're not being pimped out.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
No, you didn't say that. You said pimps and hoes.
Yeah.
So doesn't
mean. Well, it doesn't mean I knew the same people. That there was like two different people though. So.
No, I understand that, but I'm saying if they're. That's why I said if they have a pimp, and that's why they look at us. That's like giving them glory. And then as a hoe who is being pimped out, if you can't be pimped out if you don't have a pimp. But I'm saying, but when you use the analogy of pimps and hoes going together, okay, I'll fix it. If you use the analogy of pimps and hoes, then you're suggesting that there is a pimp in the mix. You see what I'm saying? So therefore,
actually, that's where the word "and" comes from, meaning it's one or another.
No, or that's where or comes. No. Or that's where the word or pimps and hoes. That's where because you need a pimp will need a hoe. So pimps and hoes, not pimps and or. If it's pimps and or, then yeah, it'll be singular, but not just pimps and there you go. You know what I'm saying? So that's
I get you saying. But well, anyways, that's what
they're doing it on their own. They just doing it on their own. But if they got someone, but you weren't saying that. But they got someone over them. That's different. That's very different. And not everybody wants to be in that and do that. Right. You know, it's
I get that, but you know, but let me tell you something. Them motherfuckers so treacherous. These motherfuckers so treacherous though. They won't do it to their mothers, their daughters, or anything like that. But they'll do it with their so-called daughter's friends and the mother's friends, the father's friends, and shit.
No, some will pimp out their own kids.
Well, yeah,
I've seen that happen too.
Well, I have seen a case where the father was pimping out the mother and the daughter, and that was an episode of Law and Order SVU that was based upon that story was based upon a real life thing that happened.
Yeah.
Which I was like, hold on, bro, what the fuck is going on here? How the fuck can you pimp your own mother? How the fuck can you pimp your own mother and your sister? That's
some people would literally look at people as money, as income, rather than looking at them as a human being.
Now that's fucked up, dude. I would never do no bullshit like that.
I don't know how we got on this topic.
Because I was telling you about the things they was doing to her children. That's like same.
Oh, you saying that was similar?
Yeah, yes, that's similar. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. How the fuck she get that in her head? It's something that's real. That's a deep-seated type thing, though. You know what I'm saying?
But we don't know her background. We don't know how she was raised, and then on top of that, we did say that she's a narcissist too.
That's what I'm saying. But here's the thing.
that kind of all plays together.
Here's the thing, though. Narcissism is a taught trait, though. You know what I'm saying? Yes, narcissism is not something that you're born with. That's a taught trait, though, man. Because
that goes to how she was raised.
Right. I mean,
then her being a narcissist.
But again, what can be learned can always be unlearned.
It's gonna take years for her.
Yeah.
It can be, but and then on top of that, she damaged the whole entire family. She damaged her husband, she damaged all her kids, and naturally herself.
I wouldn't be, you know what? I'm going to say this. I wouldn't be surprised that your daughters die of virgins though, man, because they would not be able to trust another man though. You know what I'm saying? And they won't be lesbians because they wouldn't be lesbians because they wouldn't be able to.
Their mother did it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Their mother did it. So why would they not trust a man?
But here's the thing though. They might trust a man, but here's the thing though. You know, you heard what he said, right? He could have stopped at any time, but he did. I'm not gonna trust anybody who can't stop something that you know is going on, that you know what's wrong. But you knew you had the power to stop, but you didn't.
But her mother had the power. Her mother had the power of everything. You know what I'm saying? And those kids were young to where they more likely been brainwashed to thinking that it's okay. You know, they're gonna need a lot of therapy, a lot of help. The whole family.
Yeah.
Man, and I don't know.
Crazy, dude. This is crazy.
They get the help they need.
Man, I hope so, man.
Ellie, that's gonna fall.
That's not our thing though, man. We don't be abusing our children though. Sometimes we do some toxic motherfuckers though, you know what I'm saying? But then again, you might have learned that from the previous generation. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
I know.
So it's up to us to cut that shit off quickly.
Yeah.
Rather than focusing on the task at hand, which in a courtroom is defending oneself at all costs. With each forced smile and twisted expression of confusion when her children didn't answer in the way she wanted them to, it felt like one more nail in the coffin of her failing argument. And speaking of her argument, my thoughts now turn towards her opening statement, where she said that it is easier to believe a lie than it is to believe the truth. I really don't understand this, and can't imagine anyone of the jury would either. The circumstances, whether one believes a lie or the truth, would be completely reliant on the factors that surround the context of said lie or truth. What it sounds like to me is that Therian is used to being able to spin stories in any way that she wishes, applying mental gymnastics to confuse her children whilst speaking with enough conviction that they have no other choice but to believe her words. I think that she is so used to controlling children all under the age of 15 that she now has a false belief that she can control anyone in this manner. It was rather interesting watching her treat the jury as though they were her children. She tried to win them over with emotion rather than fact, tried to sway them into recognizing that she is such a loving mother with a beautiful family, and that she had no other choice to protect them all from this horrible son that is Ricardo Jr. Even after being taken from her care, she still tries to throw Ricardo Jr. under the metaphorical bus. She attempts to show the jurors what a naughty, awful boy he was, one that lied and stole and even molested. And then she goes on to show them how patient and loving and understanding she is, that she gave him every chance possible to reform. I believe this case was always going to swing in the state's favor, but watching her attempt to manipulate these adults into believing her narrative, rather than focusing on the facts of the case, really didn't do her any favors. Ricardo Jr., by all accounts, sounded like a normal child, figuring out his own boundaries and exploring the world that he had at his fingertips. As the eldest sibling, it breaks my heart to think that at each moment where he could have chose to explore his surroundings, he was beaten and ridiculed. He displayed a strong sense of spirit as he tried to find creative ways around these oppressive rules that were placed on him, and when caught, he showed more spirit by getting creative with his lies. He chose to lie not because of pride or being a rotten child. He lied because he didn't want to sacrifice his own life to fit into the mental box that his parents were forcing him into. She attempted to beat him into submission, and when the beatings didn't work, when she couldn't force him into that mental prison, she locked him into a physical one. Everything she did was designed to break this child's spirit, and if she could break the eldest, then he would be a shining example to encourage her other children never to act out. The most heartbreaking part of this.
Oh no. Oh no. I just thought about something. They used to do that to their male slaves.
Yeah.
What's that shit called? Buck breaking?
Yeah.
Only without the sex though, but yeah, this is buck breaking. You take the biggest what did it say? You take the biggest strongest slave, and you have him submit in front of people so they'll know not to cross me, not to try to escape, because this is what's gonna happen to you. And if I could do this to him, I could do this to all of you.
It hurts so bad.
It hurts still.
Yep. I swear, it's like so many things it's so layered with so many things though. You know what I'm saying?
There's this big one. Oh man, it's so crazy. I hate that for the kids though. Mm-hmm. Like, even for the husband, I feel like he just married the wrong one. Clearly. Got him in all that trouble.
Right. Ain't that something?
Then on top of that, she was older, so she would have had.
Yeah.
This is that to a degree, she did break him. To survive the hell that was thrust upon him, he needed to sacrifice a part of his curious mind, the part that made him want to live, so that he could survive down there. There's extensive testimony from the psychologist who evaluated Ricardo Jr., and he said that something which is present in Ricardo's personality now is that he does not value his own entertainment or growth. The psychologist says that he doesn't ask for anything. He doesn't think about what anyone else is thinking either. He would be asked many times through interviews, "Have you thought about why I'm asking you all of these questions?" No. Do you ever wonder what your parents were thinking when they put you downstairs? No. Do you wonder what your new life will be like? No. This is dangerous for him, as the boy will be highly prone to exploitation as life progresses. The psychologist says that he will just go along with whatever anyone tells him, and he will never question anything. And worst of all, at the time of this trial, when Ricardo Jr. was 16, he would go back to being locked in the closet if it meant that his family would be back together and his parents would be out of jail. I don't know where these children will end up, and I don't know if Ricardo Jr. will ever be able to recover from that abuse. I don't know if the cancer will claim Isaiah's life, or if the other children will ever recognize exactly what their parents did to them all. I hope, with all that I have, that they will be okay, that they'll find their way and the world will be kind to them. Children rely on their parents for so much, and because of this, a parent can be their most loving support or their worst nightmare. If this video ever were to make its way to Ricardo Jr. or his siblings, for what it's worth, I truly hope you are all doing well, and know in your hearts that none of this, your family splitting up, your parents going to jail, was ever any of your fault.
I still want to give him a hug.
That's crazy.
That is a sad story for the whole family because of her.
Yeah.
I want to say mental illness, because she's a narcissist. Clearly, you know, like, and a husband, you can tell, like, I don't want to call him weak, but he was submissive to her, which it should have been the other way around. She should have been submissive to him.
That's what
I feel like if their roles were played correctly, and I hate to say that because I know people whatever, but I feel like if their roles were played correctly, that wouldn't have happened. You know what I'm saying? Because she should have been submissive to him, and he clearly was submissive to her, which is sad. It was really sad, and that's how they ended up in this situation.
You know what? I wish sometimes when it comes to certain women, I think we should go back to the kinetic the Roman Empire way though of how they used to treat their women, like for real.
How was that? Break it down for me, Terry, because I'm ignorant here. And educate me.
All right, here I'm going to see. Some aspect the way they was treating their women was actually, especially in a case like this, would have been justified. Like how dare you hurt one of our children, and then they get their ass whooped though. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that's right,
but it wouldn't have went this far though.
Right. I'm not saying it was right, but I understand. So you know, so the way they basically their women were their wives, they're not their wives anymore. They're on their own. The man gets everything. The woman can't own property. The woman can't have no money. She couldn't have no anything though. You know what I'm saying? She was prevented from opening up any kind of business, doing any kind of
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Women, wait. What was the reasoning? Was it for a divorce or for abuse?
No, I mean that's their marriage though. They're not allowed to own, like, say the husband dies, right? She has to marry to another dude in order to get her inheritance. And her inheritance go to the exactly. And any children they have.
No, we can't put anything on it right now.
Basically, it wasn't really sometimes it really wasn't about love. It was more of a business transaction.
Yeah, that's really what it was.
Like, hey, I'll tell you what, let's put our two houses together. How about I marry your son to my daughter, or your son to my son to your daughter? Though, you know what I'm saying? Love didn't have shit to do. Most times, love did not have shit to do with it. The men still fuck around with their fuck around on their wives. The wives would not. They dared them to not even think about fucking.
Wash your hands so you clean it. Go wash your hands. I know it hurts. Go wash your hands.
And there's like they're not even think about fucking another dude, but they did let him do some certain other things. Like, you want to fuck one of your male slaves, go ahead and do that shit though. You know what I'm saying? Because they were slaves, they were property. They didn't count as human beings though. You know?
Or is it not about Romans?
Yeah, that's how they treat their slaves. Some will treat their slaves if you know, as much as a slave owner can treat their slaves though. You know what I'm saying?
So
basically they treated their wives like they slaves. Only difference is the wives had a little bit more rights though. You know what I'm saying? They were seriously, I'm dead serious. They were like, you know, I mean, their wives, you know what I'm saying, married them, they'll, you know, give them their respects and shit like that. They won't be beating them just no good reason though. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the wife got to do something really stupid for them to get beat by her husband, get slapped by her husband. You know what I'm saying? But even if there was laws against that, you cannot be killing your wife or beat your wife to the point where she dead. No, you can't be doing that shit. No, you couldn't
Oh
be doing that shit.
boy.
But you can discipline your wife though, because that's your wife. Meaning that
That's the problem. That's
Right.
probably where a lot of people get that from. Like it's
Right.
okay to be. I actually dated this guy. This was a while ago, and I remember he I'm not gonna say his name, but it was a while ago, and here, go hold this on there, and go sit out there with Naira. Go. I know. Hold it right there. Go on the couch.
Okay.
No, I'm gonna get some tape later. Go out there. You gotta dry it. Go out there and dry it. And so go out there. So anyway, and this guy and I, we were talking for a while. And well, let me take this back. Because now looking back at it, at that point I thought we were dating. He convinced me we were dating. He said we were dating. But looking back at it, I think I was just a booty call, because that's a whole different story. But anyway, we were talking. And again, he had me convinced that we were dating. And well, I found out that because he ended up going to jail for something. I forgot what it was, something petty. But then when he got out, I think it was like for weed or whatever. And so he got out, and then so now he's on probation. And so it came to me like when people cheat on me, I literally can feel that they cheated on me. And I literally, if I ignore that feeling, I literally can see. I can see it. You know, I literally can, like I'm looking at you, I can see it. And so
how you gonna see that? We never been together.
Not you. So anyway, not you. So no, like I'm saying, like I can see you. Right. That's how I can see, you know what I'm saying? So I remember one day we were talking, and then I was like, I was like, you were with your baby mama today, this and other. He was like, no. Before I said that, I was like, I was like, you cheated on me today. And he was like, what? His eyes got big. And I was like, yeah. So I ended up describing everything to the T, and literally everything came out of my mouth from what I was looking at right then. And I was like, and I was like, that was your baby mama. You cheated on me with your baby mama. And he was like, he called me crazy, this and others, and I was stalking him, and I followed him when I was following him. And I was like, I was at work all day. How did I follow you? I was at And so he was like, ooh, yummy, food's ready. And so he ends up leaving, but then I think it was like a day or so later, he calls me. Because at that point, I told him, I was like, there's no point of us talking if you're going to be, out there having a field day with other people. I'm not trying to get anything. So you can go and be with her. I wasn't mad about it. I was happy I knew about it.
Right.
Got on the phone with him. No, he called me, said he wanted to explain everything to other, and he asked if he can come over so we can talk face to face. I was like, yeah. I said, I made sure I told him, I said, don't expect any sex. I said it just like that. And because my job had me coming home at 3 a.m. So I got off late and I was at home at 3 a.m. Mm-hmm. So I was like, you know what time I'll be home and this and other. And at the time I had this girl had just moved in. She had needed a place to stay, so she was downstairs because she was so big she couldn't really make it up the steps. That's a whole different story. But anyway, so he didn't know about her, because at that point we hadn't been talking so much. And so I was like, all right, so we go upstairs. I made upstairs first, and he shut the door. I turned around, he had his pants down. I was like, what are you? I know I said we ain't doing this. And he was like, I'm gonna this and other. And I was like, no, he tried to rape me. And when I fought back, he tried to kill me. He didn't stop until he thought I was dead. And when I got up, when he backed up off me, because he thought he had killed me, he backed up off me. I got up, ran downstairs. She had already called police, this and other. And Terry, I really forgot my point, but
the point was that's a manipulation, though. You know what I'm saying? And you guys should feel things in your spirit that you have a gift. You just need to get rid of some restrictions, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but he was. I remember his cousin called me because he ended up going to jail. He beat me. He beat me so bad. He beat me so bad. I had to call in from work, but I did go. I went to his parole officer, because I don't know how I found out who she was. Found out who she was, and I went down there and I was like, I said, "Are you such and such parole officer?" She's like, "He did this to you?" I said, "Yes, ma'am, he did." She's like, "Come office." Into her office. She said, "We put a warrant out for him right now." He ended up going to jail, and I remember him. And I remember having to go to the sex crime, and that dude treated me like I was a doggone like a prostitute. Like he was treating me like I was out there just selling myself, and I knew it was up and all this, and I had to break down. It's not what happened. It's not with the food, because the officer was trying to put words in my mouth, and I was like, "That's not. This is what are you doing?" That's not what happened. Anyway, Terry, I had another point, but anyway, I don't know, but he was very convincing.
Mm-hmm.
But when I asked him, I did ask him why did he do that, because later on he ended up contacting me. He apologized, and he was like, he said I scared him when I went to details about what happened. He was like, "Yeah, I did cheat on you," and he was like, "I did have sex with my kid's mother," and some other. He was like, everything he said in detail was exactly what it was. And he said that scared me, and he said the reason why he beat me and tried to kill me was because he's never been rejected when girls, whenever he approached girls for sex. He was very handsome. I ain't gonna lie, he was. And so, but that's not what I was gonna. I told him no. I meant no. And so he got upset because I rejected him, and so.
Wow, that's fucked up.
I really forgot the point, though. I really wish I.
No, I get the point. Basically, what you're saying is, based upon what they did, based upon what the mother did with this, the father could have stopped it, but he did because he didn't have no control. That's how motherfuckers try to get you, because they try to take your control away and have you obedient and have you docile like a sheep, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So basically, what's going on is they like what he did, like what the mother did to her son. She isolated him from everybody else. So we're gonna make.
Yep. That's what narcissists do.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
That's exactly what they do. My last husband did that. He isolated me from my family, and I wasn't even allowed to go see my brother's family.
Right. Look, I see. Me personally, I was never really into that controlling shit anyway. If I want to control something, I'll get a video game or something like that. I ain't controlling no motherfucking being, though. You know what I'm saying? That's bullshit.
You're so silly.
I'm serious, though.
Narcissist people I don't know. And you know what? I didn't realize that there are way more narcissists out there than I guess what I realized. And they're literally all around. And I had last year, around this time last year, is when it started to hit me how many people, and then it's like I had to start disassociating myself with these people. It was, and you have your big red flag narcissists, and do you have your silent ones? And all the big red flag ones, I was like, oh no, and I moved them out of my life. But then I had the little red flags, and I didn't realize that they were narcissists. So I started, man, that show is a narc move. What's going on? That's something a narc would do, and then I was like, oh my goodness, these are narcissists. I had to get rid of two people. One was my ex, the whole Dave situation. And then the other one who I thought was a good friend of mine. And I was like, she is really pulling a narc move. And I started thinking and going through the whole friendship history. And I was like, this girl's a narcissist. Let me leave these people alone. And that's when I was like, hey, I'll leave y'all alone.
Well, you know what though? This is how I knew that the person I was dealing with was not really a real friend of mine. Because when you called, not you, but when that person called me a narcissist, all because I said something about the story we were supposed to be working on. She called me, and I knew right then and there. You was never a friend of mine, because anybody who
what story? Oh, this is the one you told me about?
Yeah, that. Don't.
Oh wow.
But yeah, that one. And I'm like, you calling me a narcissist because of why? I don't exhibit traits of. And anybody who knows me know that there's no So there's no such thing as narcissism with me because I don't like that shit though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anybody, dude, how did I get you for Brand for 10 years? How do I get
you have a strong opinion, but you're not a narcissist.
No, I'm not at all. I mean, yeah, I do have strong opinion.
You have your which is I mean, it's not.
I mean, but I think,
but it's not you're not controlling. You're not trying to control.
I mean, but at the end of the day, you're gonna believe what you believe. You're gonna do what you do. You're gonna say what you say. You're gonna live how you live.
You already know me. I ain't budging.
Exactly. And I ain't budging either, though.
I don't care what anybody gotta say.
Right.
I ain't budging. I believe what I believe.
Hey, like I said, that's why I got the philosophy of I'm not gonna change anybody that's never to the fit my own, and I expect to say unless it's detrimental to my existence. Then yeah, sure. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'll do the same thing for you, or Chris, or or my brother Aaron. I don't know. Or for my brother Aaron, you know what I'm saying? My family, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I miss y'all after
my family, Michael, and all of them and shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'll do it. I do anything for anybody if it's in my power to do it though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Hey.
Yeah, that's true. You do.
I tell you what, I know a little off subject, but it's a long one.
But yeah, you can go ahead and end it.
But check it out. All right. But check it out though. Check it out. Guess what my love language is?
What is it?
Just take one guess.
Okay, hold on. There's 7 love languages. You have touch, you have gifts, you have affirmations, you have shoot. But so yours, I don't know. Hold on. I gotta think of the other 4. Let me I got it. Google. Hold on.
There you go.
Hold on. Okay. What are the love languages? Okay. So you have there are 5. Wait, I thought it was 7.
No, there's only 5.
Oh, well then I was wrong. Okay, so you have gifts and tokens of affirmation. You have quality time, physical touch, words of affirmation, and acts of service. Okay, so I was off. Okay, so yours. I mean, I would say yours is act of service, but I noticed you do act of service.
Right.
I guess so. I think that would probably be yours. I know you would do the acts of service. I don't know. I don't know about no physical touch because me and you ain't never been on no physical touch level. So I don't know about that.
Well,
Are we gonna keep it that way? Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I want to say.
You sure you want my blessed hands on you?
I want to say it's act of service. And I want to also say maybe quality time. And also maybe words of affirmation, probably. But I know for sure act of service is how you show that you care. I've noticed that. I mean, we talk on the phone a lot, so I guess quality time.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm a little bit of all 5, though.
How? Really?
Yeah, I like giving gifts. Like doing action service. I definitely love physical touch. Quality time, I like that too, though. You know, I like to spend time with my people sometimes, though. You know what I'm saying?
I can see quality time. I can see that with you.
And then, what's the other one?
Words of affirmation. Yeah.
You know, sometimes I give people uplifting words and some philosophy.
I can see that.
You know what I'm saying?
So, I can see that.
So yeah, so pretty much.
I know for sure active service is yours, though.
Right.
I know that for sure.
Right. I mean,
yeah.
I should have traits of all 5, but that's pretty much my main one right there, though.
Really? My main one, I would say, I'm a physical touch type person, and quality time. I'm a quality time, and me when I'm with someone, I'm a physical touch. I gotta touch. I don't care if it's your ankle. Bring it here.
Well, I got some robes though, so I can show my ankles though. So I got the long hair though, and the beard. Get the long hair, the beard.
But I'm not planning on. I don't think I'll be dating anyone at all ever again because people just. I don't know.
Yeah. You know what? I feel you on that because sometimes I feel like that too. Like, dude, I just stay
It's
secret
just too many secrets, and I hate secrets. Too many people don't know how to be themselves, and I'm gonna be 37 in less than a month. You know what I'm saying?
You're getting up there.
I exactly. I'm up there, and then on top of that, me when I date older. You know, so if I'm with someone who's older, and then it's like I don't know, and I feel like people are already stuck in their own ways. People are in there, especially men. Like y'all, which I'm fine with. Okay, but most men are like stubborn and stuck in their own ways, which is fine because I'm not here to change anybody. But I see that people be trying to change me, or they don't want to be themselves up front, and that right there irks the mess out of me. Because I'm like, if I can be me from day one, you're not talking to a representative. You're talking to me. Then I'm gonna need that from you, you know. And so because people don't have that or don't know how to, you may have to separate this to a whole different section.
Right.
But it had nothing to do with the show. But anyway, when it comes down to what I've noticed, people don't like to be themselves. I don't know why. I don't know if they, you know, the goofiness or the quirkiness that they may feel down about themselves. They feel whatever. They don't want to bring it out. And I'm like, what? I like all that weirdness. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But people don't. People want to show their representatives rather than show themselves. And then me, if you're showing your representative, you got too much to hide. And then on top of that, the whole David situation, that scarred me. That scarred me to the point to where I'm like, oh my goodness, anybody can be out with doing anything. You know what I'm saying? And then come home, you know, because had he gave me something, I would have been heated, you know, because he was out there wilding out with guys and females, you know. Like I didn't understand that, you know. How do you have a whole, like you're with me saying one thing, but yet your main cup of tea is men and hoes. Like these females is coming through knowing what's up and all this and knowing that. And then the text I've been seeing on his phone, me and him laid up together, and I'm like, I don't meet your I don't have a penis. You know?
Well, actually, technically, I don't. I want to say it's that way. Technically, women do have penises because if you actually look under a microscope at your clitoris, it looks just like a little penis. At the foreskin and everything.
Y'all, everyone was a female first, and then y'all became a guy.
Yeah. Well, so, that is true. Okay, that is true. That is true. Because here's the thing.
So we are not any male, nothing, but you are a little female. Thank you.
Okay. Because you're right. Because here's the thing, though. When it was, I'm gonna be honest with you. That's what I don't give a fuck anybody think what it is. Women will be here first, though, man. I have to say that shit. Because think about it. Women were here first and giving birth. They were made first, then the males were made like how twins are born and shit like that.
I don't get it.
Maybe I'm slow. Twins are not born at the exact same time.
Yeah, true.
One had to come after the other, so the female came first, then the male came after, seconds later, like minutes later, type shit. You know what I'm saying?
I don't get it.
Oh my!
I don't get it. I don't get that.
I'm explaining to you the reason why that we went to female first, then we turned to guys based upon the 48th chromosome. Because
I get that.
Okay, so here's the thing. After that's why men and women were created, men after each other was because of the balance. They needed that balance to get that whatever. But now, mind you, that now the twins that came from the same embryo, though. You know what I'm saying? The embryo was a woman. So therefore, here's what happened. The female was born first. Then the male, the clitoris turned into a penis. The ovaries turn into testes, and where the part of uterus at was closed up. Closed up. her hips came nearer, her testosterone came more, you know what I'm saying? We got hairy, you know what I'm saying? We had hair and
Hairy.
just like that.
Yeah, y'all hairy.
Right. And you notice the Y chromosome is five times smaller than the X chromosome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe this is too deep for me because I still don't get it.
I understand, but
it's okay. You tried to explain it.
I'll get you. I'll get you there though. All right, people. Oh man, this is a very long one, so that's good though. Hopefully,
thank y'all. If y'all went this far, thank y'all for watching. Don't please y'all subscribe to his channel, please.
Please subscribe, like, hit the bell, and watch.
You may want to separate this to 2 different videos.
Yeah, I might have to. So you know what I'm saying. I'm gonna have to.
So yeah, I don't know how long this is. I know it's long.
Yeah,
or better, like 2 hours. Is it 2 hours?
Or better. It's more than 2 hours there. I mean, you know. But I put you like.
Oh, it is way more than 2 hours. You may want to separate this.
Yeah, I want to separate these for 2 different videos, though. You know what I'm saying?
The movie portion and then us talking afterwards.
Right. Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's
You're
good.
welcome.
That's a good idea.
You're welcome.
I'm learning to edit. I'm learning to edit.
To edit. Yeah, I would help you, but my plate is beyond full right now. I got so much things. I got deadlines. And,
I got you.
I understand. Then on top of that, I'm trying to renew. That's why I asked you yesterday, I think, about your licensing. I'm trying to renew mine. I was gonna have you. I was gonna once I get this stuff up and running. I can't tell you about it right now, so I'm not telling anyone. But once I get it up and running, I was gonna see if you wanted to participate as in the insurance part and get clients that way. But
I mean, I could take the test over again.
Look at you. I can do it. I can do it again. But no, I need to go ahead and get my clock hours for mine. But you have health too, right? Health. Mm-hmm. And that's what I really need to. Mm-hmm. I don't feel like taking a test. If you feel like it.
Well, I have to check if I could check to see if I can still do those. It's been a year, so
oh, it's been a year?
Yeah, so I have to see.
Mine's up in February.
So I have to see if they'll allow me just to do the CEs.
I only have life only, and I need life, and I need really mainly health. I need someone with health, and I didn't want to just get any random person. I figured you, the only one I know, and I don't mind, helping move up like that. Right. And what I'm finna do. So
I mean, I could check.
Just let me know.
Yeah, I could check the people who had to test and runs the whole thing. I could ask them, hey, I was licensed, but I forgot to do my CEs. Is there any
probably gotta pay some fees? That's it.
Oh yeah, I gotta pay some fees.
You gotta pay fees. I know they make me pay fees when I don't.
Yeah, I got some money saved up, so for that too.
Good.
Because I knew I probably gonna. I kept fighting, so I don't want to have anything to do with insurance. I won't have anything to do with this, that, and the other. But
it's frustrating.
Yeah, I know, man. I don't like, especially life insurance. I don't like changebacks though. I can't stand that shit. How the fuck is?
I don't know. Yeah, I get it. I'm doing that too.
Yeah, like how's it my fault they can't pay their bill?
Oh boy, man. Let me tell you, they talking about something I owe because they made a mistake. I don't want to say they lied to me, but they definitely made a mistake and gave me the wrong information. And then now I'm thinking everything in life is good. Then now it's also, oh no, you owe. Then they said that I owe more than what my commission was. And I was like, that doesn't even make sense. I was like, I checked with my bank. I checked even on y'all's online. I don't owe y'all that. I don't owe y'all. Y'all need to come correct with, be honest. Right. You know me, I'm all be honest. Then we can discuss.
That's what I'm saying.
But so I don't know. Like me, my thing is I kind of want to go ahead and do life insurance. I mean, just renew it since I think that'll probably be easier. But I have so much on my plate right now to where I don't want to. So that's what I was saying. If you did it, what I'm going to do, I'm planning on something right now. I can't tell you. I'm not telling anyone. But I mean, I might tell you if I get you more involved, but as far as right now, you're the only one that came to my mind for the insurance aspect of what I'm doing. So,
Gotcha.
and which would guarantee you with customers, because I want to tell you, but I can't tell you. But it would definitely, yeah.
Don't tell me.
Yeah,
Don't tell me here.
I'm not telling anyone. No, I'm not telling anyone. Period.
Yeah, don't
Unless I'm inviting them in
Right.
as a you know.
Right.
But I'm excited about it. I'm excited about it because I should have did it 14 years ago. But hey,
How would you know 14 years ago?
because that's when it came to me to do this.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and I just kept putting it off, coming up with excuses, and then now I feel like it's time for me to do what I need to do, and I need to do it because if not, I need to do it. And so I'm getting my people in order. That's why I was writing down in my little notebook. And so it's just my thing is trust. I have trust issues. So, and I need 2 people for something to be a part of it. I may or may not ask you. I don't know. I'm still on the fence about that, but I know for sure I need you for the insurance part.
Gotcha. Yeah, I got you.
Y'all got whoever watching this, y'all got an extra scoop of extras, just a conversations with Terry. You should call this Thursday Talks with Terry.
But today's Saturday though.
I know, but you still post it on Thursday, silly.
That's a good one. Hey. Oh, that's a good one.
You're welcome.
You know what?
You're welcome.
Hey. I just got an idea.
I just gave you that idea.
No,
Thursday Talks with Terry.
No. Just shit.
I'm hearing you.
Hold on. Let me end this, then I can talk to you about that.
Okay, bye y'all. We love y'all. Subscribe, like, share, all that support. Terry, I'm not playing. Y'all came this far, support them.
Exactly. Please, like she said, subscribe. Hit the bell, comment, you know what I'm saying, if you need to, share it, like, though, you know what I'm saying? Because we are dropping some gems here, though. Yeah, I mean, I may keep this video together, or I may not, though. I don't know. I might just have to split it because it's probably over 4 hours. Though.
Do it, split. Please split it.
Yeah, I'm gonna split it. Though, you know what I'm saying?
Thursday Talks with Terry.
Yeah, there you go. But today's Saturday though. But no, I gotta. All right, peoples. I will see you later.
Bye.